And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, mainstream media, social media, everywhere. And I know my mic is low. Let's go ahead and fix that right quick. Let's go ahead and fix that mic right quick. Put it right on the 80. There we go. That should do it. But thank you for joining me tonight. We got a whole lot to talk about. There's quite a few topics on deck. The Joe Biden interview. Did you see that dumpster fire of an interview? I mean, what in the world? 118 days with no interview. And then he comes back on Kimmel. Barely able to string two words together. That was a whole big mess. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Joy Behar talking about black folks not really owning guns, or saying that the gun laws may change when black folks begin to own guns. Like, what in the world's going on with that? We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, Jack Del Rio, I think he was the former Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. If I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But he's now the Washington, quote-unquote, Commanders. I think it's a defensive coordinator. Talking about J6 was nothing burger. Some police in Michigan not being able to afford gas, and a whole lot more topics on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. Most certainly appreciate y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you have heard thus far, if you enjoyed the show, if you enjoyed the content, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. We got quite a few things on deck. Yeah, I'm early. I'm right on time. I'm early today. You know, no more white man to blame for being late on this one. All right. But you guys are great. Fantastic. Let's get to the sponsors right quick, as always, and then we get into today's topics. Again, thank y'all for being here. I could not do the show without you. And of course, I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday live at 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern, talking about whatever's going on politically, somewhat connected. But let's talk about the sponsors first, of course. Shout out to me, my particular websites. And my first website is anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. You can find an article for each video that I produce. I write the article, I produce the video, so you can always find my sources in the article. Nobody can never say, hey, man, you made that up. That's not right. You know what you're talking about? All my sources are always listed in the article at the end of it. Always. So go to the website for that. Also go to the website for my social media. My Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are all on the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact. Also, you can find my email address and my snail mail address. Shout out to you guys who send me letters and everything. I do read them, and I thank you for that. Again, anthonyblogan.com for the articles, anthonyblogan.com/contact for all my other information, how to get in contact with me, my email address, snail mail address, all that good stuff. Also, go to ablmerch.com. You know what we got? We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more all on the website. I mean, new merch coming. The merch is on the way. They done came and got it. They put it on the truck. They put it on the plane. They're making it go from point A to point B. You'll see that very soon on the website, ABL Merch. That is MERCH.com. Also, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. You got to check them out as well. That is patriotpost.us. And all my links talking about right now will be in the description box below the video. And also go to bhedesigns.com. If you want one of these beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me, right behind my head here, you can always find them on bhedesigns.com. The links will always be in the description. And as a matter of fact, if you go to my website, there should be a menu section that says wooden flags. If you go to my Instagram, there should be a link tree in my bio. That'll have a wooden flags section on it as well. All those links will take you to the right place, and that is bhedesigns.com. Tell them ABL sent you. But we got a whole lot more on deck that we got to get into. There's a whole lot on deck. Now, where do I begin? I have quite a few clips for you guys I'm going to get to a little bit later. I did see the Biebs. I ain't gonna get into that right away because I'm super early. Everybody might not be here, so I don't want to jump the gun and show that video right away. But I will show the Bieber video. I have been looking at all of the happenings on the internets. So where do I begin? Let's talk about the police force in Michigan that may not be able to come out to you because gas is way too high. Now, nobody should be surprised here. Nobody should be surprised that gas prices are having an impact on public safety. Let's talk about it for a moment. Now, I think this might be kind of a small town. If I'm wrong about this, y'all, please let me know. Any of you Michiganders, hopefully that's the right demonym or whatever. You guys that live in a particular area, you might live in Michigan, you may know this particular spot that I'm speaking about. If I'm wrong about what I'm saying, y'all, please correct me. But let's see. This place is Isabella County. Now, just 1 year ago, not even when Trump was in office, when gas was much better. I mean, Trump prices of gas, you're talking about $1.89, $1.99, $2.05. During Trump, I would see gas for like $2.75, or not even that high, like $2.40. Man, it's getting kind of high, ain't it? It's getting a little bit out of control. $2.40 for gas. It's a little high, Trump. You got to get it back down. Now I'm seeing $5 as a national average, and we know that gas is going to be higher than that, depending upon where you live. If you're living in California, you may as well invest in a horse. The horse is expensive, yes. The horse feed, the barn, all of that is going to be expensive. But guess what? It might be cheaper than a vehicle and an electric vehicle. Cheaper than the gas and electric vehicle. That Tesla is going to run you pretty penny. And the gas on your electric vehicle, on your gas vehicle, is going to be crazy. You got a big gas guzzler. You might get 10 miles to the gallon and you're paying $8 a gallon. How can you live like that? I saw somebody filling up gas. I think they had like 14 gallons so far. They already passed $100. Already at 14 gallons. You're going to fill up a Honda Civic and you're going to put 100 bones in there, 100 greenbacks in your Honda Civic. Okay, your car is the size of a Hot Wheel car, a model car, a toy car, a race car, right? You have a whole toy car that you're driving for, your A to B living. You're putting $100 in there. It's crazy. Now imagine, going back to Michigan Police Force, imagine you got to fill up several, I'm not really sure how many squad cars they have, but you got to fill up several vehicles at multiple times a day or however long they got to fill up. And it might be kind of a big county. So it may not be like, you may have a police force that operates in one particular part of a major city. They're not actually going very far from the station, okay? They're not patrolling a very wide area. But let's say you're West Virginia, right? And you have Canal County. Now, Canal County is big geographically. It's a big place. So to go from one part of the county to the other, 45 minutes to an hour maybe, and you have a very small police force for that entire county, the gas is going to get ridiculous. Okay, it's going to get ridiculous, and you got to pass a budget for the gas. So they already have expended. They've already blown through that budget for the whole year. They've blown through the budget for the gas in the police force. So they're not like the federales where they could just rob you at gunpoint and take their money. They can't really do that. That's not necessarily legal. If that get caught on World Star, somebody's going to the penitentiary and it's going to be a BLM riot, right? The federales, however, can do that if they want to. It's called taxes. Oh, you're not paying your federal income tax? Well, here comes the tax man. Okay, you don't want to pay the tax man? You don't want to pay the people that enforce these things? All right, check it out. You're going to jail and you try to escape. Well, we got armed guards, so try your luck. Don't cross that gun line or you're going to get gunned down. That's how the federales do, but they can't do that in this particular county in Michigan. Let me get the county name right, just so I'm not saying the wrong thing here. All right. So let me see. Pinellas County. Oh, pardon me. Not Pinellas. That's Florida. Isabella County in Michigan. They can't do that. And to go back to them right quick, just last year, 2021, after Trump had been gone, just last year, the average price for a gallon of gas in this county, I think it was like $3 and some change, which was high, but the average price now is $5 and change. I think it's like $5.19. It's to the point where it's almost double. You can't afford it. Now you got to make cuts. It's the same thing they did with the minimum wage, right? If you raise the wage from $7 to $15, there's going to be some problems. You're going to have layoffs. You got to raise prices. And of course, since wages have gone up, everything's gone up. Inflation has caused everything to go up. You got all this free money out there floating around. Well, check it out. I got this stimulus check for me and my 25 kids. So I'm rich now. Literally, during the pandemic was terrible. The pandemic, it killed the already weak work morale in this country. I'm going to get back to the police and the gas in a minute, but now I'm just talking. The pandemic killed the work morale in this country. It killed it. It was already low. That's why everything's made overseas to a certain extent. I know there's political stuff going on, and that has also killed work morale. But the pandemic, it killed it. The stimulus checks, I knew women that had 3 and 4 kids, $10,000, $15,000. They never had that kind of money before. People got big, they got fat. The logic from people is if people that are poor, if they make more money, they're going to just rise themselves to the top. They'll become the upper class. But see, poverty, in my opinion, when it's perpetual, it's not the problem is not the poverty itself. The problem is the underlying symptom that causes the poverty. It's the mind state. You can give a person in poverty $15,000, $20,000 at once, and you'll see what they do with it. They'll still remain in poverty. They're not going to actually change their position. They're going to still stay right where they are. They're going to spend that money on the most ridiculous nonsense you've ever seen. Tattoos all over the place. Big, crazy, ridiculous, ugly tattoos. Not even nothing that's really pretty. Nothing that will advance them. Big, crazy tattoos. And it's not even the race thing, because I saw it during the scamdemic. White folks, black folks, Puerto Rican candy stripe, a little bit of everybody. People that are in the lower class, people that are poor and they stay poor and they never leave and it's perpetual and grinding. They do stuff like that typically. Not all the time, but typically. And I'm not trying to bash a lower class. I come from that particular environment myself. But it's about the mind state. I never had a low class mind state. My parents did not have a low class mind state. We're in a situation where there's not a lot of money, but we're working our way up. We always work, we always grind, we always do the right things. But they get this money and they just spend it on the most ridiculous nonsense. But they feel like they're rich now, although they're still living in the same place, still got the same problems. They still are 1 million pounds. Matter of fact, they weigh 1,100,000 pounds now because they didn't add to that food budget. Now they're eating all the Walmart cart on the first of the month is full of junk. Now they put more junk on top, right? And on top of that, they're lazy. So rather than just eating the Walmart junk and working their job, they quit their job because they got the stimulus money. So now they're more sedentary than before, which makes them even fatter. But that's a different story. Anyway, the work morale in this country has gone down the toilet, 100% down the toilet. Now, I'm not really sure how I got there from the gas thing, but I think my overall point is that things are becoming more expensive. Inflation has risen up. Oh, this is what I was trying to say. Inflation has risen up, and people don't want to work as much because of the killed work morale. So now they got to raise wages. You going to McDonald's, $15 an hour. Oh, that ain't enough. That's not enough. I got my stimulus checks, right? I don't got to work. That's not enough. But the more they demand, the more things are going to go up. And gas, it's also, I'm not really sure I don't know how people are surviving with no jobs. If the police force are telling you, hey, man, we cannot come out to all the calls because our gas budget is gone. If they're telling you that, they're talking about, hey, man, if you got a problem, call us on the phone. We'll figure it out from there. Conflict resolution. If the murderer is at your door like, what was that, Jack Nicholson, and he has the axe and it's going through the actual door. You can see the blade of the axe. You're on the other end. The blade of the axe coming through the door. Isabella County Police. Yeah, I'm in the house right now. He has an axe. Yeah, it's an axe. It's a real axe, and it's penetrated the door frame, and it's almost at my head. So, you want to talk to him? I put him on the phone. You can tell him to stop swinging the axe at me. Oh, okay. He said he don't want to talk. So what are we gonna do? That's what's going on. I'm exaggerating, but seriously, if you're calling the police, I presume that it's something that's kind of important. I know police get all kind of frivolous calls. You know, you got a cat stuck in a tree. My dog ran away. Those things are important. I understand. You love Fluffy and Fido and all them. You love your animals. I get it, but that's kind of frivolous when you're talking about calling the 911 operator versus somebody that got killed, somebody got kidnapped, or something a little bit more serious. But what calls are going to be put on priority, and what calls are going to be, hey man, you on the phone with us? We'll fix it over the phone. We can't send a squad car out there. What are we going to do? What are we going to do here? It's a mess, man. I think this recession that we are in, once it really, really hits, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. It's already didn't hit the police force out there in Michigan. Already hit. It's already, if you can't even afford to go out in the street because you don't have the gas money, and they may be able to pass a new budget and all that kind of stuff. But for right now, until the new budget is passed, they don't have the money. So now what? When that recession really hits, when the stock market really crashes, when the housing market collapses, it's going to be ugly. Personally, I'm prepared. I'm ready for whatever. I got money saved up. I got food saved up. Okay, I'm like a prepper a little bit, a little teeny bit. Shout out to all the real guys out there that prep. I know guys that ain't got like sustainable energy sources, all kind of just wild stuff. Like I know one guy that built some kind of tower for energy. Don't ask how it works. I don't know. But the way he was saying it, I believe him. Like you got a Nikola Tesla type situation going on. Hey, I believe you, man. I know it's going to work. Because I seen that guy build all kind of stuff and it worked perfectly. So if you got some kind of sustaining energy tower that had never been seen, some kind of perpetual energy, I'm sure it'll work. I'm sure it will work. Don't tell nobody, though, because you're going to have the feds come knocking for that right there. They're going to take it off your hands. So don't tell nobody if you got some real things that work like that for perpetual energy. But I'll move on. Anyway, this gas they're talking about is going to keep on rising. The national average is $5. They're saying they could hit $10. Or I think I said they might hit $8 a gallon nationally. Maybe even it'll hit $10 in certain spots in the country. I think I've heard about the $10 a gallon gas already. If you're living in California, go ahead and escape. Go ahead and escape. Because unless you got a lot of money, unless you loaded, or you like to commit crime and make your money that way, and you can, live a life of crime and not get prosecuted, I don't recommend that, obviously. Don't do crime, kids. Don't do drugs. Don't do crime. Stay in school. Because if you do crime and you get caught, your cellmate might like the way you look. You understand what I'm saying? He might find you attractive. And you a male in there. You 16 years old, shaking in your boots. He's like, hey, man, I think you got pretty hair. If you hear that from your cellie, at that point, you realize you made a grave mistake. A grave mistake. Okay? But anyway, I'll move on. We're going to see how this country does. I think we'll be okay. But some people who are not prepared, they're not ready, it's going to be rough on them, for sure. It will be rough. Oh, and the used cars, check this out. The whole issue with cars in general, speaking about cars, you're speaking about the squad cars and the lack of fuel and the budget in Michigan, Isabella County, Michigan. I went to a dealership the other day to get my car serviced. The regular service, I got a lease. It's like the XYZ number of miles you get a service, that thing for free. I go there and I'm talking to one of the guys that works at the lot. He's like, all these cars on the lot, which it wasn't that many. It was only a handful of cars on the lot at a Toyota lot. All the cars on the lot were spoken for. All the cars had been ordered by somebody. And the way they do it now is when you want a car, you get put on the waiting list. If you want a particular car, you tell them, okay, I want this car, I want it that way or whatever, and they'll build it for you. And then they're going to send it out. And once your car becomes available, they'll hit you up and say, hey, your car's coming in, it'll take X amount of weeks or whatever. That's the way it is now. Buying a used car, and that's for new cars, obviously, because they're going to build it for you. Buying a used car, forget about it. Or you could buy a used car, you're paying almost new car prices for used cars. Then if you want to get a hotel, 30% higher, 40% higher, everything's going to go up. The prices are going to just skyrocket, but the wages can't skyrocket, because if the wages also skyrocket, that'll cause the things that you purchase to further skyrocket. You'll never be able to catch it. You understand? It's like, okay, if a hotel room costs $300, you're getting paid, let's say $50,000 a year at your job. If you get a raise to $70,000, the hotel room will go up to $400 or $500. So you chasing your tail. You're never going to be able to get to where you want to be. Proportionally, you still spend the same amount of money or more, even if you make more money. That's what inflation does. Matter of fact, I have a chart that I found. If I can pull it up, I'll put it on the screen. But there's a chart that shows inflation from the time of Donald Trump. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So this chart shows the rate of inflation throughout Trump's entire presidency and then to Biden's presidency. And you're going to see how it is. And you're going to see at certain points where it rose up a lot. Okay, so here it is. Now, let's put the whole thing. The current rate of inflation is 8.6% year over year, right? That's a year over year increase, 8.6 inflation. Now, look at 2017. So Trump came in office January 2017, right? Election 2016, inaugurated January 2017. So look at the rate of inflation right there. If I follow that line, that's about 2% inflation. And it hovered around that throughout the entire presidency. I think the highest might have been 3% inflation. So you can see what happened. And then right around the pandemic time, it plummeted to like almost zero, like right around 1% or less than 1%. And then it went back up to about between 1 and 2, probably about 1%. So it was lower. Inflation was lower after the scamdemic, right? So people talking about, oh, we're going to blame the pandemic. Well, why was the inflation under Trump lower during the pandemic? You see what I'm saying? Now, when Biden takes office, look at what happens. Look at it. It shoots up from about 1.52% to about 5%. Okay, and then they passed the American Rescue Plan. It spiked some more. It went down a little teeny bit to just like, it didn't go back down to where it was under Trump, but it went down a little bit. Then it spikes again. And then the whole Ukraine thing, they want to blame inflation on Putin invading Ukraine. But look at where inflation was at that point. It didn't really change, actually. It spiked a little bit after he invaded Ukraine. So it was at about, let's say, 8.5 right there. It was about 8.5. And then it went to a little bit below 9. And now it's back down to about 8.3. So when they talk about stuff like, oh, inflation is high because of Putin and Ukraine, Donald Trump, the numbers tell a different story, don't they? Don't they? This man's not a good president. I mean, regardless, it doesn't really matter what side of the aisle you're on. You got to just observe what the guy's doing here and say that he's not doing a very good job. You got to say that. You got to say that. And the whole pandemic thing, the pandemic is one thing. The response to the pandemic, the things that they did, that caused a big problem. That caused a humongous problem. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that lockdowns had no impact on it. Of course it did. But there's a certain kind of way to run your country without giving out so much free stuff, killing the work morale, killing the workforce, I mean, everywhere you go, you can't really find anybody. Oh, and that's something else. That's also going to impact the social health of people. Now, you may like going to restaurants, certain little routine spots you go to, but you may not like going to really, really high-end spots all the time. You understand? So basically, you might like Applebee's or Cracker Barrel or some spots like that. Good little spots, but not super expensive. Just like little family spots like that that are pretty, inexpensive. But those spots are going to have probably the biggest issue with staffing. Now, me, if I go to a restaurant, I go one or two places typically nowadays. I'm going to go to a family-owned establishment where it's the whole family in there working. So I know they're going to have motivation to be in there, preserving it. It's not like they're getting guys from the street to go in there and do X, Y, and Z. It's not like that. They got themselves in there because this is their business. If they don't work their business, that's it. They're pretty much out of luck. Immigrant families, family-owned spots, I'm with it. High-end spots, because a high-end spot, you're going to have better paid staff because the customers are paying more money. Okay, if the ticket is not like $100 on the low end, it's got to be like $100 for a ticket for two people. It's got to be $100. I ain't talking about no drinks, just straight 2 entrees, no drinks, no appetizers, 2 entrees, $100 minimum. If you go there, you're going to have better staff because you're getting paid more from the tips typically because you got a higher level of clientele, people that got more money basically and don't mind spending. So if you got a high ticket, it's $300. $100 for a tip, go take that. Versus Waffle House, somewhere like that, $10 for a tip. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to have staffing issues. Why work? I got all this money over here from the STEMI. I'm good. I got 15 kids and I got paid for each kid. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be a mess. So when the recession hits, I think that's going to kind of clear up a lot of this, the staffing issues. It's going to clear it up because now ain't no more STEMIs, ain't no more STEMIs coming. There's no recession STEMI. There's none of that. Ain't none of that happening. And if he does do that, it'll make things worse. It'll make things 100% worse. Oh, also, they're going to raise the interest rates too. They have to because they're almost at zero. And they already raised it a little bit. Raising interest rates, raising everything. All right. Let me see. Liv Mad asked me, remind me how many Americans were on welfare and food stamps during Obama's presidency. I don't actually know. I want to say probably about 40 million. That's my guess. But if you put a gun in my head and say, get it right, are you going to die? Hey, man, it might be RIP. I think it's 40 million, but don't quote me on that. Yeah, the welfare, all that kind of stuff. And my question is, to those who may be on food stamps, no judgment right here. This is a no judgment zone, at least for this question that is. Okay. If you own welfare, did you get a raise in your welfare premium and your welfare check or your EBT card refreshment? Because if things cost more, but you still get the same amount of money on your card or the same value on your card, how are you going to be able to, you see what I'm saying, get what you were getting before? I'm not really sure. But anyway, so yeah, the inflation is crucial. And speaking about your man, Joe Biden, did you guys see him? Did you guys see him on Jimmy Kimmel? I know I did my video about him, but I missed one very important clip that I want to put on the screen if I could find it right quick. He was talking about a few different things and trying to say a few different things he was kind of unable to say, having a hard time getting those words out because you got a few trees short of a forest, a few fries short of a happy meal. He's not all the way 100% home. The light's on, but ain't nobody at the house. You understand? That's pretty much what it is. Oh, and before I get to the Kimmel interview and the shocking thing that he said during the interview, which I missed, have you seen all these names he has for us? What they say? MAGA King, Ultra MAGA, all types of stuff. It's like, who misses Trump more? Is it the left or the right? Because every time I see one of these people on television, like a Joe Biden, one of these leftists, they're talking about Trump. I mean, that's all they talk about. I think the left misses Trump more than the right because he was a blessing for the left. A blessing because he was so controversial and polarizing. It was a big ratings boost, number one. Whenever they would cover him, it'd be a big ratings boost. It'd be hate watchers or fans or whoever. It'd be a big ratings boost. And then it was a way for them to try to attack us on the right to push forward their particular agenda. Because he had so much attention, they were able to kind of cash in on it and use that for their political purposes. You understand what I'm saying? So I think they love him and they miss him like he's their uncle that went away and never came back to the house. You understand? They love that guy. But anyway, so here's a meme. Shout out to Grand Old Memes, at Grand Old Memes for this meme. And you can see it. The top one is kind of cut off a little bit, but the top one, we got the Winnie the Pooh meme. He's in their chair, kind of sitting back, reclining, nonchalant look on his face. The first one just says MAGA, regular MAGA. He has on a MAGA hat. It's kind of cut off at the top right there. But he's wearing a MAGA hat. And then you have Ultra MAGA, where he's like wearing a top hat, a tuxedo bow tie, monocle, and the monocle's glowing. It's Ultra MAGA. Because I think Biden also said something about Ultra MAGA. Like, these Ultra MAGA people are the most dangerous. And, you know, that was a whole big thing. That was a think tank decision to say, okay, we're going to take a year and a half, 2 years. And what did we come up with? Ultra MAGA. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I could find. I'm serious about that. Wait a minute. Yeah, so here it is. Wait. Hold on. So this is Business Insider. So you see what it says. Biden used the term Ultra MAGA after 6 months of research. And now Republican put it on T-shirts. That's what they want to say, Business Insider. That part at the end is not even really, I mean, anybody could have done that. I would do that on my own store. But you got a whole research team to figure out a way to attack conservatives. It took you 6 months to come up with Ultra MAGA. Seriously. Now, meanwhile, you got inflation going on. The border's wide open. Fentanyl's out of control. You got people running around with Glock switches, 12 years old, shooting up blocks. But you took 6 months and a bunch of money, of course, probably in the millions, to create the term called Ultra MAGA. Only for it to go on the meme, for it to get memed, really? Is that what we're focusing on nowadays? Just creating meme magic for the right? Anyway, then Biden called Trump the great MAGA king. Now you had Winnie the Pooh wearing like a robe, like a king's robe with the crown and all of that. And then the most recent one, he was talking about the MAGA gang. And of course, you got the stereotypical hip hop shades, weed in the mouth, platinum chain, and then you have the old English script for MAGA again, like it's MS-13 or something like that. You spent time and money to create memes. For like, why? Now, let's go to the particular not the speech, but the wording in question from Joe Biden. Let's see if we can put it up right quick and get some sound. And there we get it.
I've worked with a lot of honorable Republicans, very conservative Republicans over the year when I was a senator. But this is the MAGA gang. This is the MAGA crowd. I really mean it. They have a fundamentally different view of the role of government and who should pay what. I've worked with a lot of honorable.
Now, I thought that he would be the great uniter. I thought that he would bring Americans together. I thought that he would not pit party against party and group against group. I thought he would be the great uniter. Isn't that what he said at the very beginning? If that's his strategy, I can't tell. I cannot tell. He appears to be doing something a little bit different, huh? Oh, well, that's the MAGA gang over there. They see things differently. It's them. You kind of othering us, but you said you wouldn't do it. So what's really going on? MAGA gang thug life. It's crazy. Meanwhile, hey man, MAGA gang, all of that. All right, how about this fentanyl crisis? How about the border? How about inflation? How about I'm paying for gas, but I can't buy food at the same time? How about the crime crisis or the crime right now is off the hook. Vehicle break-ins, like creative crimes, people getting their little air tags put in their car, follow back to their house. It's crazy. It's serious out here nowadays. So what are we even doing, Joe Biden? Now, let me get to where he said some of the other stuff. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Oh, now, here's something that he said during probably that same MAGA gang talk. And it was similar to what he said on Kimmel. Remember, the Kimmel interview was right after the whole Brett Kavanaugh attempted murder. Oh, yeah. Attempted murder. The guy got arrested for attempted murder of a federal official. Hold on. Let me pull it up right quick. Because he owned up to it. He owned up to it. Matter of fact, it says armed man traveled to Justice Kavanaugh's home to kill him. That right there will get you an attempt murder charge. Let me put it up on the screen so you guys know what I'm talking about. Here is BBC News over in UK. They reported on it. U.S. man charged with attempted murder of Justice Brett Kavanaugh, right? So this is an attempted murder charge. They caught him. He's arrested. He's in jail right now. He admitted it. You got audio tape. He said, okay, I went to his house. I was going to kill him. I was going to kill myself. I got the guns. I got the knives. I got all of that in my bag right here. Got caught red-handed. So the Kilmer interview was right after that. They didn't say one thing about it. They didn't say a word about Brett Kavanaugh or the Supreme Court justices and their safety. Nothing about it at all. Nope. As a matter of fact, he said this or something similar to it during that interview. Then he said it again right here. So let's check it out right quick.
You know, I have to admit to you, a lot of us elected officials have been in office for a while. Every once in a while, something you learn makes you viscerally angry. Like if you had the person in front of you, you'd want to pop them. No, I really mean it. You know.
So right there, he's talking about sometimes they do things make you so angry. You want to, if they're right in front of you, you want to just pop them. Isn't that what the guy just kind of was talking about? Saying, hey, you know what? I came here from California and I want to go ahead and hurt Brett Kavanaugh, hurt myself, because he was angry about some things, right? He was angry about the Roe v. Wade decision that may be overturned. And he was also mad about some of the mass shootings. He was angry. He was mad. He was upset. And since he feels like Brett Kavanaugh's in the way of so-called progress, he wanted to kill him. Isn't that what he was just talking about? Not saying he said the word kill, but you're talking about violence and striking somebody because make you upset, and you're talking about political officials and things of that nature, it ties right into it. It ties right into it. And if you have somebody that's been arrested for the attempted murder of a sitting official of Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice, you can't say stuff like that, obviously. You can't say that in general, but you definitely can't say that in that particular context because it sounds like you're endorsing it. Now, there was another clip he said something like that during the Kimmel interview. And if I can find it right quick, I will go ahead and throw it on the screen. But yeah, this guy, 81 million, I'm not really sure. I don't think that is correct, obviously. You know, I know you guys know it's not correct. But for the YouTube censors out there, I don't think that number is 100% accurate. I think it's a little bit different. I think it's different than what they're trying to say. All right. Let me find this right quick if I can. I probably can't. Hold on. Yeah, executive orders, biracial couples, all kind of weird stuff. Yeah, I can't find it. But just know that it was pretty much the same thing that he was saying right there. Oh, no. Okay, we got something. We got something. This is not quite the same thing, but it's actually a different point that's also pretty troubling. So let's play this clip right quick.
You often get asked, look, the Republicans don't play it square. Why do you play it square?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If we do the same thing they do, our democracy would literally be in jeopardy.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
not a joke. And
I understand that argument, but also it's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules. And how do you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules?
Well, you got to send them to jail. There's that little box in there.
So basically, your political opponents, whoever you don't really agree with, you don't like them, send them to the gulag, man. So if you don't like what they say and they're right in front of your face, go ahead and strike them, hurt them, hit them. And if you can't do that, or how about a different way you can go about it, just put them in the penitentiary. Throw them in the gulag. Throw them in the gulag, man. Hey, and speaking about gulags and political dissidents that get disappeared and stuff like that, did you guys, the January 6th thing, I did not watch that, of course. That was the most ridiculous nonsense. They had that on prime time, 8 o'clock. Why? I've never in my life seen a hearing like during prime time. Maybe I missed something. Maybe they had the Kavanaugh stuff during prime time. I'm not really sure. But a hearing like that in Congress, that's like some C-SPAN stuff that come on between the hours 9 and 5. If you're not watching C-SPAN 3 on your desktop computer, you probably won't be able to see it. You probably would never see it at all. It'll just be there. You might have about 10 viewers watching that because these things aren't really cared about that much. But they had all types of theatrics and crying and carrying on, and they had it on every channel. I'm like, okay, where am I living right now? Am I living in North Korea or is it the USA? And then they want to clown Fox News for not airing it, but they were the only channel that had any kind of sense. Although they're not perfect. They were highlighting the trans teenager recently for some reason. And then you put on Kate, whatever their name is, as a contributor. It's kind of confusing. Fox ain't perfect, but good grief. The January 6th hearings, who's going to watch that? Not me. Maybe your bulldagger auntie that wants to see Trump get locked up. People that love Trump so much, they're still thinking about Trump. They didn't vote for him. They didn't like him, but yet he's still the top of their mind. For what? Meanwhile, the guy you got in office right now is just pretty much an empty shell. He don't know what's going on. The country is in flames, and you worried about the guy that was here before who did a better job, obviously, who had a better economy. Gas prices, all that kind of stuff are just through the roof, and they're still worried about Trump. I think the brainwashing from the mainstream media and the politicos is very effective. Oh, very effective. Let's not worry about what's happening right now in the country. Let's worry about the other guy who did a better job because he's the bad guy, not the guy we got in office right now, not the swamp, the administration, Kamala Harris. And where's she been at? Have you seen Kamala Harris recently? Put her on the milk carton right next to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Put them side by side. I've not seen her at all. Or him. I mean, this whole thing is a mess. This whole thing is a big crazy mess. But yeah, so your man Joe Biden, the interview was a dumpster fire. He was struggling to get through just basic things during that whole situation. Matter of fact, if you have not seen this clip right here, I'll play this clip for you, and then you can see how bad he was doing. Like, this is not abnormal for Joe Biden to do at this particular point in time. They want to say, oh, you got a stuttering problem. I mean, please. If you look at him from years ago, when he was in office as a senator from Delaware, and you would see the way he would speak, he was much clearer, made more sense, more articulate. Now he's just a stumbling mess. It's really kind of sad, but I'm not like going to cry him a river. I'm just saying this is pretty terrible. It's pretty pathetic, actually.
No question about it.
So there's a lot of major things we've done, but what we haven't done is we haven't been able to communicate it in a way that is Let me say another way.
Well, see, that's kind of perfect. Yeah,
Well,
we haven't been able to communicate
But
it.
look how the press has changed. Look how the press has changed.
It has changed. Oh, listen, I get it.
I know you overstand it.
Yeah.
You don't just understand it, you overstand it. But here's the deal. One of the things is that it's very difficult now to have even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news. So instead of asking a question, anyway, everything gets sensationalized in ways that, but I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things,
I mean, the guy.
Nope.
Hold on. Keep on playing.
even with notable exceptions, even the really good reporters, they have to get the number of clicks on nightly news. So instead of asking a question, anyway, everything gets sensationalized in ways that, but I'm convinced we can get through this. We have to get through it. And one of the things, look.
I'm going to take a break, and then we'll talk a little bit more,
if you don't mind.
They saved him right there. They saved him. Let's go to a break. Cut to commercial. Because you see what was happening right there. He would start a train. He would start a train of thought. He'd get on the train of thought. The train would be going, and then it would get derailed. He would just forget how to close the statement because his mind is drifting from thought to thought without completing any of the thoughts. Kimmel sees this and is like, okay, let's take a break. Let's go ahead and get you refreshed. Let's charge the batteries up right quick, and let's come on back. That's what happened right there. That is what's going on. It's a mess, a big crazy mess. You know, and people can't deny it at this point, man. You see that, man. You see what's going on. It's like, who are you going to believe? People that say that ain't nothing wrong with them and it's fine, or your own lying eyes. I got a pair of eyes and I got a brain in my head and I got a pair of ears. I'm going to just use those, not relying upon what someone else says. Oh, that ain't nothing. Don't worry about it, man. You just a conspiracy theorist. You're a Trump supporter, all this, that, and the third. The man is clearly not in his right mind. And again, that's not stuttering to do something like that. That's him just losing a train of thought. See, if you stutter, you get caught on the word and you have a hard time being able to get past it. But what he's doing is just forgetting where he's even at and what he's talking about. That right there is called mental decline. And it won't get any better. He's 79 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He's 78 or 79 years old. He's almost 80 years old. He's knocking on 80's door. He's knocking 80's door down. He got a boot to the door of number 80. All right, you got a whole police boot. You got a battering ram to the door. You're pretty much right there. And John McCain kicked the bucket. I mean, he passed. I got to be sensitive. John McCain passed at like the same age almost, like 81. You can't live forever. It is what it is. So hopefully they just let that man go sit down. But if they do, who's going to fill in for him? Kamala Harris, where has she been? Maybe Kamala Harris is training to become the president. And that's why she's not been in the public eye. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But I move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Jack Del Rio, my man. Now, shout out to Jack Del Rio. Jack Del Rio is an NFL coach. He, I think he was the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure I'm right about that. I know he was a head coach somewhere. Yeah, he was a Jaguars head coach from 03 to 11. Okay. And where else did he coach? He was on the Saints as a linebackers coach from like before that, like in the early '90s, like in not early '90s, but like late '90s. He was the Raiders head coach for 2 years from 2015 to 2017. And he was on the Broncos as a defensive coordinator, the Panthers, different. He's been around the league for a long time, since like 97. He was a assistant coach for the Saints in 97, and he's still been in the league ever since then as a head coach, a coordinator, all this, that, and the third. But anyway, most recently, he's become the Washington Commanders, formerly known as Washington Football Team. And before that, they were called the Washington Redskins. He's now their defensive coordinator. So he runs the defense, make sure everything's good. He's like a defensive head coach, but not the head coach. So he's on Twitter and he's just talking. He's just, having a conversation with people on Twitter. And a post came out about January 6th. And the person was talking about how bad it was, all this, that, and the third, all kind of crazy stuff, right? And then all Jack Del Rio asked was, hey, what about the BLM riots basically from 2020? Like, what's going on? That was his question. That's all he asked. And that right there set off a chain of events that it went pretty bad. It went pretty bad. Let me see if I can find the actual original tweet right quick. Oh, here it is. Perfect. So let's read it right quick, just so I can be right. So this person, Norm Eisen, I'm not sure who that is. If you guys don't, let me know in the comments. He's a blue check guy, probably some kind of journalist. Let me see. Senior fellow, Brookings Institution, chair, States United, legal analyst, CNN. You already know what it is. One of these guys, right? But his he posted a link to a Brookings article, probably written by him. And his caption on Twitter says, as the 1/6 committee hearings draw near, we must understand the whole story of January 6th. In our new Brookings Gov report, we offer a guide including potential federal and state criminal charges for Trump and his allies. And then there's a finger arrow pointing down toward the article, the thumbnail, all this, that, and the third. Now, let me see if I can find Jack Del Rio, what he said. Oh, did he get his account nuked? Oh, okay. So he probably got his account nuked or he deleted the tweet. But basically all Jack Del Rio was asking was what I was saying. Like, okay, that's fine, but how about all the BLM stuff? That was his main thing to be concerned about. And that right there, it got to the point where he had to talk about it before the media and really answer for what he said. So let's check it out right here to see what Jack Del Rio said in response to the tweet.
You want to talk about it? I'd talk about it with anybody. Yeah, no problem. At any time. But they're not. I'm just expressing myself. And I think we all as Americans have the right to express ourselves, especially if you're being respectful. I'm being respectful. I just asked a simple question. Really, let's get right down to it. What did I ask? A simple question. Why are we not looking into those things? If we're going to talk about it, why are we not looking into those things? Because it's kind of hard for me to say I can realistically look at it. I see the images on TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem. And then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Well, there's nothing burned down. And we're not going to talk about, we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we apply the same standard and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion. That's all it was. Let's have a discussion. We're Americans. Let's talk it through. I'm for us, having a great opportunity to have a fulfilled life. Like I said, every which way I can. When I'm here, it's about love and respect.
It's so simple, man. It's so simple, but people just act like it's so. You can't say that. You can't ask questions about, the January 6th thing. Why is that such a big deal? But the BLM stuff was not. And what got him was when he had called it a dust up and things like that. Oh, it was a dust up. It was a dust up. That's what it was. January 6th was a dust up, a nothing burger. It was nothing really compared to all the BLM riots. Okay, little kids getting killed in the riots, young adults, older people getting beat up, assaulted, terrorized for days, weeks, months, years in their own neighborhood. Entire neighborhoods changed. Yeah, he did apologize, unfortunately. He unfortunately did apologize. The apology, I can't really remember what he said. He was saying something like, basically, he was apologizing for calling it a dust up, for kind of like, quote unquote, downplaying it. But he stood by what he said about all the other violence in the country not being good as well. But yeah, and as a result of what he said, the NAACP said he needs to get fired or he should resign, all this, that, and the third. He was not fired, but he did get fined $100,000. 100,000 big ones. 100,000, 100 grand he got fined for that, which is crazy. That's purely a political thing, really. It's purely political. It wasn't, he didn't say anything that was wrong. He's like, look, if this is bad, I'm not saying this, just nothing. But if it's bad, okay, let's talk about everything that's going on. Why can't we have the conversation? Why not? That's why people like myself and many others are here, because you're not going to hear what he said from a person with a big platform, because then they get in trouble. You won't hear that on television. Then they get in trouble. But me, I don't really care. I'm going to say what I'm going to say regardless. Point blank. Okay. And what they want to do right now is try to control the internet to where we get punished as well. But that's going to be, I think we're going to be the last, the last battle for free speech in this world, really, is the internet's. If they're able to control the internet and keep us from saying what we're going to say, now we got a problem. Now we got a serious problem. That'd be the equivalent of going to a street corner, in my opinion, and silencing a guy with a megaphone, or just talking to somebody on the street. That's kind of what that is. If I'm on the street corner and I'm talking to somebody right there on the street, we're just having a dialogue and exchange, and then they want to silence me right there. See what I'm saying? That when you start to do stuff like that, now you're in a whole different ballpark. Now you're doing something totally else, something totally different. Now we're getting into communism and that type of, you're getting into China and Germany, World War II, all that kind of stuff. That's a whole different ball game right there. But yeah, what he said was right on point from the beginning. And I think most Americans probably feel that way. They do feel that way, but they can't say anything because they don't want to get the Jack Del Rio treatment. They don't want to get a fine from their job or probably fired from their job. They don't want to have their family and friends disown them and attack them and whatnot. I get plenty of DMs from all over the place. People say, hey, man, thank you for saying what you say. I can't say it. You're my voice. And I am your voice, and I'm glad to be your voice. I'm going to keep saying what I'm going to say. Point blank, period. Point blank. Now, speaking about January 6th and the feds and stuff like that. Now, apparently there was I think there was like a pro-abortion. Hold on. I got to make sure I say the right thing. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But remember those guys called the Patriot Front? And I said from the beginning, they look like feds. They all physically fit and they're wearing stuff like the media are talking about these guys are like a white supremacist group. Let me see if I can find a picture of them right quick. Okay, so apparently they went to a pride event in Idaho. So random, right? Like, why would you go to Idaho out of all places in the world? But anyway, why not go to like Washington, D.C.? I mean, I don't really get it. But anyway, so here are these guys. They were called the Patriot Front. Do you remember? Their banner says strong nations. So they're considered to be like alt-right, white nationalists, racist. So that's how the media are portraying them. I don't know a lot about these guys personally. My opinion is that they appear to be feds, or some of these guys, I would bet a lot of money that some of these guys are feds. Just like with any kind of group you have out there. You may have some guys that really believe in the so-called cause and they're down for it, but you're going to have feds in that group. Any kind of group like that, it's like joining the Klan right now in 2022. You're going to be joining the Fed operation. You may as well just go ahead and go to the Federal Academy and become an agent, because you're gonna be hanging out with them for 6 months to a year before they put a Fed case on you and send you to the penitentiary. You probably go to Gitmo for being involved in the terrorist organization, although it's only one of you and 175 federal agents. But anyway, so these guys apparently have resurfaced. I think in that picture, they were in D.C., which made sense, right? You are kind of a political group. You go to D.C. to protest or whatever. Now, they went to this Idaho Pride event and they got, quote unquote, detained or arrested. So let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Stay on the sidewalk. So Patriot Front got pulled over. They were all piled in the U-Haul, and they are all detained.
They were all piled in the U-Haul? I mean, in the U-Haul back there, they were in that? It just seems so strange. I mean, so do you believe what's going on here? Like, do you think this is a real thing? Like, these guys got arrested? And my question is, okay, why were they arrested for? For being in the U-Haul? Is that it? I mean, if you get caught in a U-Haul, what's the charge? Like, too many occupants in the vehicle? I don't really understand what's going on here. It looks completely. These are not illegal aliens. No, these are, well, they shouldn't be. Maybe they are. But these are the guys that they say are white supremacists. They have an organization in America. They've been around for a long time. They're American white guys, and they all got arrested somewhere by an Idaho pride parade. Did they have any weapons on them? Like, what's going on? It's so strange. And it's to the point now where I can't tell you if that's fake or if it's real or what's going on. But I've seen so many fake things that it just, I don't really believe anything anymore. I'm just jaded. That's pretty much what's going on. And somebody says, take 1, 2, 3, action. Yeah, that's how it appears to be. Somebody says they're Russians. Hey, you know what? Speaking about Russians, I saw a video of the border being wide open. And, you know, one thing people don't really understand about the border is that it's not just Mexicans coming across. You have the entire world coming across that southern border because it's wide open. They had a white Canadian at the southern border, a Canadian. He might be from Yellowknife somewhere, but came to the southern border, probably from somewhere else because it's easy to sneak in that way, easier than going straight through Toronto or Vancouver or wherever you went across, right? But let me find that other video here. So when they got a big group of guys at the border, and these guys all came from Russia. We're worried about Russia. Meanwhile, oh, here it is. And hear them. You're going to hear what they're going to say. They're going to say something to the camera that'll tell you all you need to know right there. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let's pull it up right quick.
Russia? From Russia? Russia? You guys came from Russia?
Thank you, Biden.
Russia?
Did you hear that?
From Russia? Russia? You guys came from Russia?
Thank you, Biden.
Thank you, Biden. We're from Russia. We're coming across illegally. Thank you, Biden. I mean, what in the world? Russia. We can't get that Russian gas that we need. And as a result, we get these really high gas prices. We can get Russian nationals here illegally. You know, you don't know what they got in their bag. They can have drugs, guns, whatever they want in their bag. Russian nationals coming across illegally, yes. Russian gas coming across to ease the gas prices for you and I, nope. Nope, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. But them right there, yeah, let them come on in. And surely that's not all of them. You saw there was a front row. There was also a back row of people. All right, hold on. So you see the front, the people that are right there. There are also people in the back up against the gate. And this is probably just one splice of it. So there's probably more beyond the camera's ability to capture. And you have the recurring people coming across all day, every day, 24/7, nonstop. Because there's no border defense. It's wide open. The fentanyl coming across like it's nothing. Coming across like it's candy and water. Okay? It's easy to get all that stuff across. They're talking about gun control. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Right now, especially, speaking about gun control. Why are you worried about And it's like a regular normie civilian going to Bob's gun store and buying a rifle when rifles are not even commonly used in shootings in America. Why are you worried about that? You can get whatever kind of gun you want that you cannot get in the gun store, fully automatics, rocket launchers, all of that across the southern border. I saw a guy in the video with a whole RPG in the car in Chicago. An RPG. I'm talking about like Call of Duty. He had that in his car. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to find that video too. Hold on. Was it him? So this guy right here. So apparently he said he's in Compton. Let's see if I can hear the accent. Then I might be able to figure it out.
Y'all know the motherfucking vibes. There's a whole lot of swiddle dilly dabble going on. A whole lot of gas pumping and mad destruction. I'm trying to go to war with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If I blow this bitch, I'm gonna cause a nuclear reaction on this bitch.
Okay. I can't hear a lot of what he's saying. All I hear is MF this and B that. But look at this. Look at this. So, I mean, gun control though. We talking about. So, what gun store do you purchase an RPG at? Huh? Where do you get a Fortnite weapon at in real life? Huh? Where do you get that? Gun control? Do you think this guy cares about gun control at all? Do you think he watches the news? Do you think he watches the news and is like, oh man, they're raising the age from 18 to 21 to buy AR-15? Man, that's going to just kill my business. That's going to kill my business. Is that a javelin? How you get a javelin in your hands as a civilian? Wide open border. You get whatever you want. In LA, California, tight gun laws. But what gun law? That's illegal right there. Period. You can't get that at any age in America, just normally. Okay. It said that's the AT-4 from Afghanistan. Meanwhile, he's riding around on I don't know what kind of car it is. Probably some kind of Honda Accord. Maybe like maybe one of those new Ford Broncos. You ride around in the Ford Bronco with a whole anti-tank weapon. The argument about gun control is so dumb. People that believe in gun control do not understand the streets at all. I come from that environment. I know what these guys have. So when I hear gun control, I start laughing because I'm like, you guys don't really understand what's going on out here. There's a whole different world that exists around you that you have no idea of. You guys do because you're very smart, but your average normie is still kind of sleeping, don't know what's happening. There's a whole world around you that you're not familiar with. I am. I've seen it. I've been in it. I know guys is in it. So this right here, not surprising. It's impressive, I suppose, to have that kind of weapon in the Ford Bronco riding around in the middle of the daytime. Like, it's daytime, obviously, so you're riding around with that. People can see you. They got police and everything. No big deal. There was another video, matter of fact. I think there was a cartel riding around with guns, big guns, in their car. And it was like it was nothing. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that one. I'm gonna try to find that. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Hefty Joe says AT-4 is a one-shot disposable munition. You shoot the rocket and throw the launcher away. So this could just be a discarded launcher that was sold by an Army surplus store. That's possible as well. But I have seen, that's one video. I have seen an actual rocket, like the actual RPG in the older video. It was in Chicago. One of these rappers had an actual RPG with the rocket loaded. I saw the rocket in it. So that's just, guys have those kind of weapons, right? They do. It's crazy. Yeah, Jarhead, the cartel video with the 50 cal Barrett. Yes. In his car, riding around with it, like on the dashboard. Let me see if I can find that video, and then we'll move on. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to find that. Oh, look at that. By accident, I found it. So here it is. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. So here we go. Let's put it on the screen. Look at this. It's in the dashboard. It's in the windshield. It's broad daylight. Gotta have the music playing, of course, all the time. Look at this. Do you see this? He's on the highway. He's on the highway like this. On the highway, and it's in the windshield, not hiding it at all. And he has, I don't know what that is in his hand. That some kind of tremendously big weapon. That might be a 100-round drum on that. I don't know if that's a handgun, technically, or if it's like, I don't know what that is. This is like something for Call of Duty. Broad daylight. Phoenix, Arizona, on the highway. So, gun control? Huh? What are we talking about? I don't get it. I don't really understand. Like, I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what we're doing. And if anybody votes for gun control, any Republicans, it's like, why? For what? Okay. Now imagine seeing that just on the road. Okay. These guys, if these guys come to your crib, these are trained people. They got little young boys, 11 years old, 12 years old, that have just injured you. Imagine these guys, some of the older, more hardened guys coming to your door with that, and you want to be a normie citizen and all this and that. I'm going to get my guns away. I'm going to surrender my guns. I don't want guns. Guns are bad. What are you going to do when he comes to you with that? Nothing. Do whatever he tells you to do. It's crazy. So yeah, shout out to the cartels or whoever that was. And that music, if you hear that music and you see a gun like that, it's over. It is over. Usually when I hear that music, you got guys working construction or cutting grass. All right, that's cool. But if you see that guy coming up on you, just go ahead and say you found the words, unless you're armed. Now you got a chance. Now you have a chance. If you're not armed and you want to be a good normie and you don't believe in guns, all right. Well, sayonara. Yeah, thoughts and prayers for real. For real. All right, what else I got going on? Did I get to everything I wanted to get to? Joy Behar. Oh, speaking about guns, did you guys see Joy Behar talking about how if black folks owned guns, then things would be different? Hold on, let me see if I can find the full clip right quick, and then we keep on rocking here. I probably can't find a full clip, but this would be enough. I don't need to play the full clip necessarily. Have you get the point? Matter of fact, it might be on my page. Let's go to my website, AnthonyBLogan.com, of course. Let's go there. I may have it up here. Of course, there we go. Boom. Here we go. Here's the full clip. Let's play that right quick.
What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that is wrong. Okay, a man going in a grocery store and killing black people is wrong. Because they're black is wrong. And I can say that. And so I can't do anything more than be myself and be honest. We're not sitting on Fox News. We're sitting on ABC talking about real issues and having real conversations that I hope people can sit at the table that are conservative and are liberal and they repeat and have and get along to make real progress. And then do what Whoopi said and vote people in office that represent them. Whether it's guns, whether it's about terrorism, whatever the issue is, that you can vote for conservative conservatives or liberals or people in the middle that represent you.
It'd be great if
Well,
the
and
party
Matthew McConaughey
represented.
kind of spoke to that. He said you have to find common ground right now.
Yeah.
Like we have to find a way to rise above this political back and forth and counterpunching because it's that urgent what's going on right now. And that's where I think the Chris Murphy interview, I saw what you saw, which is, yes, if I had it my way, I would snap my fingers. There's so many things I would do, but I'm not in a position to do that. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to give and take. But I want to do something because that has to happen.
But the Republican Party already has said, many of them, that taking those AR-15s off the market is a no starter.
Let me just say this real quick.
It's all about the guns,
I know,
all
but
right?
can I just say this real quick as a gun owner?
Yeah.
There are people in this country that genuinely own guns and just do so for the same reason that we all sit up.
An AR-15?
No, let me tell you. Okay, let me give you a story. There's a man in Connecticut that watched his neighbor have a home invasion and watched their whole family get killed. He built his own AR-15 because Connecticut won't let you buy them, but you can abide by rules that allow you to build them. And then he has one in his house to protect his family because he never wants to see that happen again. He is a black man. It's odd. Most AR-15 owners are former military, 35 plus
Let me
and
say
married.
one more thing.
So that's all I'm saying is that they're not just crazy people.
Here's the thing. Once black people get guns in this country, the gun laws will change. Trust me.
Now, once black folks get guns, the gun laws will change. That was what she said. That's what Joy Behar said. And the crowd goes wild. Everybody's applauding like they support that. But again, people don't understand that there's a world around it. They don't know. Joy Behar does not really interact with many black people like that. She's not going to be around guys like me and people that I know. All the black males, any black male that I know, all the black males that I know own guns. All of them. Everybody. Family members, friends, everybody. And it's a handful of guys, some guys I know that own guns illegally. You know, I know guys that have been to the penitentiary for gun stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. You know, guys that got felonies and still got guns. But everybody had guns. I mean, it don't matter if you're liberal, conservative. A lot of black folks, and it's rising now as far as the black gun ownership. It's not even a political thing, though, because my dad was real. He was like, in my opinion, a social conservative, a political liberal. He always had a gun in the house. Granddad had guns. I think my uncle got guns. I've seen guns from a young age in the house. Everybody has guns. That's not even a thing that's like abnormal. I had guns before the tragic boating accident, before they all went away, right? And what else? Who else? Oh, I wanted to say this. Stacy Abrams ran a campaign in Georgia when she lost and got stomped by Brian Kemp trying to become the governor. Her campaign was anti-gun. But that's not going to work in a place like Georgia. It don't matter what color you are. Everybody has guns in Georgia. That's like, and the guns you see down there that are legal blow your mind. The crime and the violence in Georgia, a lot of it is in Atlanta or in other city areas across the state. And it's like a lot of organized crime. You got Mexican mafia down there. You got all kind of other stuff going on. It's not the guns' fault. You know, a lot of normies, they own guns. You could be poor, in the hood, rich, in the suburbs. You could be Tyler Perry on an estate. Everybody has guns. So Stacey Abrams talking about she got cheated out of the election. No, you're not electable. Georgia is still Georgia. Georgia is not Atlanta. Okay, Atlanta is Atlanta. Georgia is Georgia. You're still in Georgia. Southern state is conservative, and you ran an anti-gun campaign. Even the stone cold stomp down black Democrats don't like that. They want their guns the same as everybody else. So, nah, it's not an issue with black gun ownership. That's just her not understanding what's going on in reality. I know what's happening, but she doesn't. It's very simple. But yeah, everybody got guns. That ain't no thing. I mean, everybody shoot, everybody got guns, legally or illegally. Now, of course, the majority of us have our guns legally. But as you can see in the streets, as you can see from all the violence and crime in the black community, there's a lot of guns out there. I think the problem is too many irresponsible gun owners that make up, it's a small portion of people, it's a small portion of gun owners that do violent, that commit violent crime, but they're the ones that are doing it. They're the actual problem, not just regular, everyday, law-abiding citizens. Okay, that's just what it is. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Now, Pamela White says, ABL, that's not what Joy was saying. What was she saying? She said it right there. Once black folks start to own guns, and the gun laws will change. So what did I get wrong there? She said it right there. So now what she wants to say is that gun laws will change, but you get a lot of black folks starting to own guns because white folks would be afraid of black folks shooting and killing them. But see, the problem is that the problem with black crime is not one that affects whites the most. It affects whites and everybody else, but it affects blacks the most. So if whites are so racist, like her mind is this. Her mind is whites are the ones that make laws, so there's no black lawmakers at all. Whites make the laws. They do everything in this country. They're the leaders. They're still the kings and the queens and everything else. They make the laws because they're afraid of black people killing them. That's what her mind state is, right? But in reality, it's black on black crime that's the most prevalent in this country. Point blank, period. So why would a racist black person pass a law to prevent black on black crime? It make no sense. If they're killing each other, what's the problem? That would be their mind state. These things make no sense. People just say things that sound good to them, but they don't think deeper at all. They think very surface. They think like right here, right in front of their face. They don't think one step deeper at all. It's silly, but it is what it is. All right. So, what in the world? My phone listening to me. I might turn it off. But I will digress. I promise. So, if anybody has anything else, any challenges to what I'm saying, you guys got to call in a little bit. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'm going to get to the calls in a little bit, but first, super chats on deck, and then I'll get to the calls. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Thank you to Eric Burns Marsh, who says, I hope the Commanders defend their end zone better than Jack Del Rio defended his January 6 comments. Hopefully they do. You know, got to command that end zone, command that, command that ball possession and score some touchdowns. Thank you to Apple again, who says, reaction in black community to January 6 hearings on TV. Not much. I've not really seen a lot. I watch a lot of black YouTube. I know people that are in the community, so to speak. Nobody cares about that. The January 6 thing is more of a 55-year-old white liberal and up. It's like, you gotta be at least in your 50s and a white liberal. That's the primary target. Now there are going to be some that don't fit that particular category, of course. Different race, different ages, but for the most part, it'd be that. It'd be the same group that still called Trump Drumpf. You know, they ride around bicycles in their car talking about Orange Man bad. They still hate Trump so much. They still got that Trump hate in their blood. They've not moved on from the Trump years. They're still stuck in 2018. But it's 2022 now. Move forward with your life, right? Thank you to Apple, who says black community's reaction to inflation and gas prices. Oh, that's a really big problem. The gas is the biggest problem. Gas is the biggest problem from people that I know, but also everything else. They're starting to notice it. See, inflation in general can be kind of hard to pinpoint because it's not just one thing. If you speak about it in general, like food goes up a certain price, hotels, like everything that you want to do goes up. Airline tickets, these are all going up at different rates, and you might not use them all the time. But gas, you could just point at it and see it. It's a specific number that is the same pretty much depending upon where you live. So the gas prices is the biggest complaint that I've seen. 100%. What's somebody say? Backup says, Drumpf and GQP goofy-ish. Yes, exactly. We're going to get Drumpf and you're going to get Drumpf behind bars. GQP, you guys still believe in. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Move on with your life. Trump is not there anymore. Move forward. So, yeah, that was a good one, Backup. Apple also says, ABL, do normies tell you they regret voting for Biden every day? Every day. Yes, they do. In one way or the other, They may not say it directly all the time, and they do sometimes. But if they don't say it directly, they say it indirectly. Man, things are better under Trump, man. Gas is better. You know, food, I can't lie. Like, the main thing that I see on the internet especially, it'd be a post on the Shade Room or somewhere like that, Spiritual World, one of these places, and they talk about how, there's prices are higher for certain things, and it'll be a Joe Biden clip, or it'll be something that's kind of that if you're conservative, you would like, that you would appreciate. And then the comments would be like, well, they didn't lie. I detect no lies. That'd be what they say all the time. Thank you to Lou Maldonado for your donation. Thank you to Apple, who says inflation, supply chain kerfuffle affected ABL merch. Yes, 100%. Things are more expensive, so you make less per. That's just what it is. I mean, raising the price is kind of hard, but that's a different story. Apple says Michigan FBI office arrests Governor candidate Ryan Kelly. This is the same Michigan FBI office that allowed Dr. Nassar to abuse U.S. Olympic gymnasts. Now, didn't the Michigan FBI also participate in that that fake Governor Whitmer kidnapping? Is that her name, Governor Whitmer? Hold on. I'll make sure I'm saying the right thing here. Yeah, Gretchen Whitmer. Wasn't it them that participated in that? It was like 18 federales and 2 normies in that. That whole thing was crazy. The FBI, I mean, I'm not sure what it's become. I think some people get into these positions of authority to abuse it. And I think sometimes also it can be bad leadership that may corrupt good people, that may change their job into something that it shouldn't be. You're just trying to be a good FBI agent, doing your thing. You go on to school. You went to the school, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, you come out. Now you're under some weird person, James Comey or one of these nut jobs, and they got you doing all types of stuff you shouldn't be doing. That could be what's going on. Let me see. Thank you to Apple again, who says defund the FBI, J6 inside job by Pelosi and McConnell. Thank you to apparently here, who said, thanks for giving my dad, Jeff, a shout out a few months ago. He mentions it every time we watch your videos now. Suffice it to say, he was thrilled. Thanks for all your hard work. Keep spitting facts. Ain't no problem, man. Thank you for your donation. Most certainly appreciate you. Apple also says, ABL, I'm so outraged that the Republican establishment betrayed President Trump. I'm in shock that Pence, Barr, Mattis, and others would be traitors. McConnell helped plan the J6 inside job. B. Pelosi. I'm not sure what you're trying to say right there, but thank you for that. Also, ABL fans, please primary vote out rhinos, vote MAGA. Yeah, vote MAGA, Dark MAGA, Ultra MAGA, MAGA gang, the Great MAGA King, all of that. Vote all of that. That gets number one to you, says Earth Batteries. Apple says a few more here. Ray Epps is a Fed, J6 inside job. Truth coming soon. God bless J6, MAGA, DC jail, solitary justice coming. ABL favorite flavor of McFreeze, Mr. Freeze frozen ice treats. I've never had that before in my life. Mr. Freeze ice treats. I don't know what that is. Is that ice cream? I don't really eat ice cream. Also, ABL, your opinion on the Bermuda Triangle, portal to hell, another dimensions gateway, stormy sea, hoax. ABL, do you believe in aliens, demons? I believe in aliens. I don't know about demons, though. I'm not sure about that. I do believe in aliens. I do believe in other life aside from Americans. Yeah, aside from Americans, we the only ones. I do believe in life beyond human beings on planet Earth. Intelligent life. I think when you're talking about intelligent design, that is a little bit deeper than what we think. It's actually a lot deeper than what we think. Stormy sea, it's probably a stormy sea out in the Bermuda Triangle. That's probably what it is. It's probably just a part of the world that's stormy, and people have problems right there in that storm. Also, he says checkers, chess, backgammon, Chinese checkers. I mean, chess or checkers, either one. ABO, you use pencil or pen, right? Cursive or print. Cursive and pen all the time. Pencil, I used to draw a lot, so I use a pencil for drawing. You know what I mean? That'd be my main thing. But for writing, like a signature or something like that, or writing anything, a note or a letter, pen and cursive. Also, ABL, bring back one low price only, gas, rent, food. Yeah, I think I did something on Twitter, so you get that from there. If I could bring back one low price only, it'd be gas, because the gas affects everything. the gas is going to affect the price of your food. Gas may affect rent because gas, okay, if you're trying to meet a real estate demand and you're building homes to meet that demand, you got to transport materials. That cost is going to be passed down to the builder, therefore increasing the price of the homes, therefore increasing the price of rent as well. If you're going to rent these properties, and you're going to have a higher, the whole market will rise up as a result. As mortgages go higher, so shall the rent, because you're having a supply shortage of the homes. So if you can't move into a house, you got to rent. And if I'm a big spender, or I was a big spender, and I'm able to afford to buy a house, but I can't get one right now, I don't mind paying $2 a month for rent. Why not? I got it. So the average normie who may not be able to buy a home right now, who's trying to build to that, or just may live kind of a modest lifestyle, is going to be pretty much out back because they can't afford that high rent. That's happening right now all over the country. They're saying the average rent is $2,000 US. It's crazy. I saw, if you know about Atlanta, I saw a townhouse. It was new construction. I'm not sure if it was something else before. It probably was. They probably tore something down and built it. But it was a townhouse off of Edgewood in Atlanta, close to downtown, I suppose, going for $1 million. A townhouse. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. And the thing is, we ain't talking about no single family home. We're talking about crowded Atlanta, right in the city, Edgewood. Kind of sketchy a little bit out that area, depending upon where you at on Edgewood. $1 million US, starting at $1 million. Hold on. I'm gonna find that right quick. But that's what's happening right now. Now, if you ask me, I think this whole thing is unsustainable. You can't keep this up for long. It's not really possible because, I mean, the money that's being spent on these things, and I think it's already starting to slow down as the rates for real estate go up. Like, what was that? 2 years ago, you're talking about 3% rate, 2.7%, because you had very low interest rates and all of that. It was a different time. Now you're talking about the rates have doubled, if not more, and the prices have gone up. What cost you $350 in 2020 is now costing you $550, $600,000, almost double, and the rates are doubled. So it's crazy. But yeah, $1 million for Edgewood, it's nuts. But anyway, I'll move on. I might find that in a minute. Thank you to Matthew Phillips, who says, Joe Biden, the great uniter of globalist interests. Exactly. He unite that all day long. But anything else, I'm not quite sure. Thank you to Harry Toe, who says he wanted to hurt Kavanaugh because people can't wear condoms. Right, exactly. Talking about abortion. Exactly. Protect yourself and you be all right. Okay. Shout out to Concert LD, who says they're not listening to the people. Do you think it's time for commissionthestates.com? I'm not sure too much about that. I don't know what that website is really. I've heard of that, but I can't speak on it since I don't know all about it. Thank you to Teresa, who says anything Potato Joe is saying, you could believe the direct opposite is the truth. Same if he's accusing you of something. His party is doing it. Professional gaslighter. There you go. Thank you to Tom's Wild and Wonderful Views, who says January 6th committee is doing everything the Salem witch trials were all about. Guilt without any crime. Liz Cheney is no Republican, and they need to take her R from her. All about the election coming up and taking Trump. Exactly. It's all politics. Everything in D.C. is political. So when they try to make it personal and all that kind of stuff, don't even really buy into it. That's all nonsense, right? That's all complete nonsense. Thank you to Razorback, who says, with this January 6th, JQN, that's hilarious. I saw what you did there. JQN, how to say the GQP, JQN, Jan. With this Jan 6 circuits broadcasting on all those channels, the USA now has state-run TV, the new North Korea. Exactly what I said. It's like this and they put it on prime time. See, it's one thing if you have it on C-SPAN, like where everything else goes. All these hearings and whatnot, they go on C-SPAN just so you can see it for the general public if you want to. Put it in a library or whatever, you can see it right there. But when they put it on all the major networks at 8 o'clock, come on. They could take a guitar dude who says Ezra Miller is fleeing police because he groomed a 12-year-old boy, or 12-year-old girl, pardon me, and gave her drugs. Yeah, see that right there. You need to go. You need to get some. You need to get the ultimate. Whatever the punishment is, whatever the penalty is, you need to get the ultimate for that, because that right there is inexcusable. There's nobody could tell me anything that would excuse that, right? Thank you to the Prince of Cats for your donation, Big Baller. I appreciate you. But you guys on the drill. It's time for the calls, and the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email to call if you want to call in and be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen with the visuals and the audio. If Skype does not work right, you know it's not my fault. Please blame the white man, but we're going to go ahead and get into it here. Okay, Skype. Already, as soon as I say that, Skype want to just kind of load slowly and all that kind of stuff. Let's wait for a minute, and we will get Skype up and running. I'm still trying to find that Edgewood townhouse. I'm looking over here to my other monitor. I'm still trying to find that Edgewood townhouse because that whole thing was crazy. Okay, there we go. We're on deck. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right, 1 second. I think I did a reset on my stuff, and I got to get it fixed. So please, if you can hear me, please 1 second, just bear with me. And let's do. Caller, can you hear me? Hello? You there, caller? All right. Let's try. Oh, okay. I'm on the wrong one. Let's try this. Caller, can you hear me? All right. Maybe it's me. I'm gonna try to get another person in. But okay, I think what happened was I'm not sure what's going on with these new updates of Windows 11. Windows 10. I don't have Windows 11 yet. But sometimes my sound gets really kind of weird. Hold on. Let me test this right quick. That's weird. Let's try this. That's really weird. All right, one more call. I'm gonna test, and then I'm gonna try to call back. Then I'm gonna try to just restart Skype and start it over again. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you, ABL. Do you hear me?
I hear you well. There we go.
Awesome. You got it fixed. I heard you the whole time the last call.
Yeah, I figured you did, but it was just I couldn't hear you. So we're on the right page now. We're good to go.
You're good to go, brother. I hear you just fine. January 6th. Oh my God, they're just pouring salt into an open wound here. I got fired from my job over January 6th.
Wow.
Because I made a video on YouTube. I was one of the best jet engine aircraft mechanics in the world. I went to Russia twice in 2017, worked on their MC-21-300. They didn't even want me there because I was an American military veteran. So every Friday, I celebrated Red Shirt Friday, red for Remember Everyone Deployed. And one of the Russians pointed it out, you know. And on Fridays, I always wore my military shirts. And they said, yeah, well, you support the Russian army, right? They said, da. I said, well, me too. And they said, what do you mean you too? I said, well, where am I standing at right now? I'm in Russia. So, of course, I want the Russians to protect Russia.
That's right. Exactly.
But, yeah, January 6th. We need to get rid of these geriatrics. Their brains have become warped. The only electric vehicle they need to be riding around in is a Lark electric scooter for the invalids. These people are crazy. Have you heard of the Convention of States?
No, I've heard of it, but I don't really know a lot about it.
Well, that's when the states get together and amend the Constitution. And that's what they're pushing for right now. And they're getting real close to having the number of states they need to do it. Once they get that number, all the states have to join. And you hear this fear-mongering, oh, it'll be an out of control convention. Yeah, because the first thing they're going to institute is term limits. But it just occurred to me, there's something more pressing and important that our government employees need. That's drug testing, because there ain't no way in heck they could be in a clear, concise state of mind. Does that make sense to you? These people have got to be on drugs or alcohol or something to come up with all this crazy crap. What do you think, brother?
I mean, it's I'm not sure. I think it's just all like a political game, and I don't really know what the end game is. Like, what are they really going to get out of it? What do they believe they're going to get out of it? I don't really know.
Well, my first job was in the general's headquarters, and he was in charge of 3 countries worth of nuclear missiles pointed at the Soviet Union. So I've read like 3 years of classified information. I have this ability to look at the overall big picture of an issue, and everything I'm looking at, with morning TV shows saying, hey, eat these bugs. These bugs are delicious. Oh, great. Yeah, well, okay, you eat the bugs. I'll stick with my steak. But they're sitting there. When I was a child, we knew that pollution was a problem. Cleveland, they had the river catching on fire for 7 days at a time, from the chemicals. The rivers and canals in Chicago were blue or purple, or, they weren't water. They were chemicals. We could actually see the destruction we were causing. And people got active, and they got involved, and they cleaned up. And we cleaned up America. But I think they use this climate change crap to indoctrinate these kids. And Thomas Sowell did a great video, on YouTube about the indoctrination of the youth about climate change and all that, and scaring them. But Don Pena, a self-made billionaire who happens to be Latino, he's not white, because he pointed that out. He goes, "Ma'am, I'm not a white man. I'm Latino." Him and his wife are the only 2 people that are alive that have actually been to both poles, the North Pole and South Pole. They renewed their wedding vows at the South Pole, but he also took a team of scientists, climate scientists, with him. And, when he said, well, what about climate change? They all laughed. It was a big joke to them, because this is what the Earth does. But the World Economic Forum is using this to convince us that we got to sacrifice, for the Earth's climate, or we're all going to die. The oceans are going to rise 10 feet. But every last one of these people has a multi-million-dollar estate on the beach next to the ocean. Now, who in their right mind would own a multi-million-dollar estate next to the ocean if the oceans are going to rise 10 feet?
Exactly.
But you can't tell these people. The psyops is so ingrained and it's working so well. It's unbelievable. I mean, these people automatically, their eyes glaze over and they shut down. I live in Connecticut, up here in New England. I hate it. I wish I was back home in Florida. But I want to thank you for, I post a lot of memes up on Facebook, and sometimes on your stories in Facebook, I'll post up memes. Remember when Joe Biden said the 9mm caliber blows your lungs out?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, now you know what the cause of that statement was?
Please.
It
was what?
Okay, you can check me on this, but the number one demographic buying guns right now is black women. And I'm guessing that they're buying 9mm handguns because it's a pretty, it's not overly big and it's popular. And God bless them. And I just hope they get excellent training and use it to defend themselves to the best of their ability that their training affords them. But I'm pretty sure that's why he made that statement about 9mm handguns. I'm like, you racist piece of crap. Oh my God. You can't change a leopard can't change the spots.
Right on.
Just can't. They just can't. I mean, you talk to people up here, they don't even know who Senator Byrd is.
They don't know anything about that because they're just so focused on just trying to hate one side. They don't really look at what's really going on. But I got a lot more calls on the line, man. So I thank you for the call.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ABL. You take care. I'm sorry for rambling on.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yep. You take care. Bye.
All right. Charles, my man, for the call. Thank you for the call on that one. But I almost forgot one video to show you guys while I was doing the beginning. Have you guys seen Justin Bieber? Have you guys seen the Biebs? Now, he says he has some kind of condition. Now, I don't know what his condition is. He said it was it was a named condition. But you guys just let me know. I'm not saying what does what or what doesn't do what. You guys let me know. What do you think is going on here?
Hey, everyone. Justin here. I wanted to update you guys on what's been going on. Obviously.
Like, let's see if I can catch it. I probably can't. You see his eye? His left eye? On the right side of the screen with his left eye. You see what's happening with his eye?
Obviously, as you can probably see from my face, I have this syndrome called Ramsay-Hunt syndrome. And it is from this virus that attacks the nerve in my ear and my facial nerves and has caused my face to have paralysis. As you can see, this eye is not blinking. I can't smile on this side of my face. This nostril will not move. So there's full paralysis in this side of my face. So for those who are frustrated by my cancellations of the next shows, I'm just physically, obviously not capable of doing them. This is pretty serious, as you can see. I wish this wasn't the case, but obviously my body's telling me I gotta slow down.
Okay, so we're gonna play the whole thing. This is from Bieber Fever official Twitter page. You can check it out right there. To all you Biebs out there that want to see what's going on with your guy. But I'm not saying what did what or what didn't do what, but I'm just saying it is what it is. 972, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, can you hear me?
I hear you. Who am I speaking to?
Excellent. Hi, my name's Jason. Hi, ABL. Hope all's well. First time caller, long time watcher. I'm not sure if you discussed it or not, but did you cover the FDA commissioners that were transferred over to Big Pharma?
No, I didn't. I didn't see anything about that, actually.
Yeah, the last 9 out of 10 commissioners for the FDA now work for Big Pharma. The most recent in Moderna. I just thought that was a little strange.
Now, I did see I did see one guy. Was it Scott Gottlieb that went from the FDA to, what was it, Pfizer?
Yeah, he's the most recent that went to Pfizer.
Yeah.
And I'm just surprised no one's really talking about this. So it just seems a little odd that we've got representatives in the government, transitioning to Big Pharma.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, you
So
know,
there's got to be payout somewhere.
well, it's got to be some kind of system, like a farm. It's like you go from AAA ball to the majors. That's kind of what it seems like.
Right.
So it's not
Yeah,
like I thought it was just like one guy, like Scott Gottlieb. But you're saying it's a bunch of guys did the exact same thing. They went from the FDA to Big Pharma.
Yeah, if you look at the list, if you do a quick search on it, it dates back to the 80s, maybe early 70s. It's just wild to see. And you know, I heard one guy talking about it, and I did a little research on it. I can't believe that no one's really, you know, talking about, you know, where these members are actually transitioning. You probably even have people transitioning over to, you know, military industrial complex, for example, and go into, you know, different areas like Lockheed Martin, where they're probably getting these giant grants and things like that. So it's a pretty interesting read. If you get some time, go and take a look. It all looks suspicious. It's probably been going on for quite a long time. And as far as like the Bieber issue, I mean, who knows? That guy probably, you know, got it from the shot, whatever else it might be. I mean, I know a guy just settled a lawsuit apparently in Canada for going paralyzed for whatever version they're taking over there.
Right.
And the Trump discussions, that's never going to go away. They're going to keep that in the media, and they have to keep it alive. They just have to kind of keep demonizing, you know, till the event when he runs again, which I'm pretty sure he will. But if they don't keep that momentum of, you know, orange mad bad, then, you know, that's going to kind of fall away. Although it's going to be a tough call. I mean, the economy right now is just in the hole. I know here in Dallas we're running about $5 a gallon, pretty close to. So I'm not sure where, you know, I know I see on the news, it's like, oh, you know, gas is up, you know, 10% or 30%, 40%. It's over 100%. It was like $1.87. And if we're only pulling 3% gas from Russia, you do the math, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah. And
So,
it doesn't really add up.
But I just go ahead.
No, I'm saying it doesn't really add up. You're right about that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, gas is over 100%. So how does 3% gas coming from Russia and Ukraine, you know, make up that difference? It doesn't. So, you know, you factor in the Keystone Pipeline and stuff like that. I mean, that stuff wasn't even completed. So I have no idea what, you know, where these numbers are coming from. So even places like Fox News, I don't understand how they're getting the numbers from. It doesn't make much sense. But no, I really wanted to touch base on the FDA thing. Take a look at it. It's an interesting read.
Will do.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate you.
You bet. Have a good one.
Yeah, I had no idea it was that widespread in the FDA. A lot, because I didn't look into it. I just looked into Scott Gottlieb. I'm like, oh, that's pretty suspicious. You go from the FDA to being on the board of director at Pfizer. Okay. That's a little odd, a little suspicious. Let's go to 205 on the line. Who am I speaking to? 205, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. ABL, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. Talking about calling down from Alabama. Called you a few times. I'm 26. Just turned 26. And, man, I'm excited. I finally bought my first firearm, man. All this AR-15 talk. I went in and got me an AR-15 for a good price. I think it's a Smith & Wesson MMP. And, man, as soon as that New York shooting happened at the store, I knew then. I was like, you know what? I already know what time it is. I already know what the Democrats going to be saying. So, and I think the ARs were down at a good price right now. I think last year they were crazy. So I went ahead and got them. And now they're trying to ban, I think, the any magazine capacity past 15 rounds. I think it's passed the House, so hopefully it shuts down in the Senate. But I think I want to encourage everyone, like the listeners and stuff. You've already said it before. Like when things go downhill, your gold and stuff like that, it's not going to make much of a difference. You know, what you're going to want to have is actually bullets and stuff. Because as you said before, once gas gets so high, it's going to be anarchy in the streets. Oh yeah, it's going to be anarchy. And I go back and forth between here and Miami, and man, just the people down there, man, is compared to like Alabama. I consider people there consumers. New cars, dented all up, banged up. You go in the grocery store, people got 2-3 full grocery carts full of food, waters, and it's like it's not even no hurricane. I think they had a tropical storm recently over there, but even before then, I'm thinking in my head, man, like just going in like Costco's, man, and how many people just rushing. I'm like, man, if there was ever a food shortage, these people are going to go insane out here. So I think it's going to be important for people to go ahead and arm themselves now, because as you said with the police officers, I think down there in Michigan, it's going to get to a point where the police officers are not even going to be able to do nothing. We're already seeing it now. It trickles down to we're not going to come out for any unless it's life threatening, and then at some point, the next thing is going to be, well, we can only do some life threatening situations, and this is going to keep trickling down and down and down to the point the police department is out of budget. They didn't ran out of their budget, and so almost the stuff is kind of seem like it's being done by design. I feel like they want to crush the American society and bring about, this new world order, the Klaus Schwab. And I feel like United States is the only country left that's kind of keeping this thing from like connecting all the dots. We still got rights. We still got, rights to guns and things. I feel like that they got to get the United States out the way and get that system to collapse so they can get all countries aligned. And like I said before, I feel like Joe Biden has been put in there to kind of sabotage everything, because it don't make no sense how I think I've heard recently now they're saying that there's a tampon shortage going on now, that there's a national tampon shortage. I don't know how true it is, but I feel like this stuff is being done on purpose. I want to leave you with this. At one point, do you think for the United States, because at this point it's almost like a sinking ship, at one point do you just say, okay, there's no saving, it's time to abandon ship because of all the damage that has been done? Me personally, I feel like the damage Biden has done, it's almost irreversible at this point. Trump or anyone's not going to be able to fix it. But at one point, do you think like it's time to abandon ship?
Well, the problem is, ain't nowhere else to go. You hear this is the ark. Right. So it's like, all right, if the flood is coming and you're on the ark, but the ark has a hole in it, you can't just jump in the water. What are you going to do?
Right. That's true. I feel like maybe one of these little islands or something, the British islands or something, because I feel like with this Russia thing, it is going to lead to World War III, and it's going to be nuclear at this point. It's no way around it, because I think the Chinese election is when, I think, November. So I think China's going to wait till after then to go in and see about invading Taiwan, and they've already said that they're willing to go to war over it. And we're so weak already as a country, so I don't know, man. I'm hoping we can make it to 2024, but it just something tells me like things is not going to get any better. It's going to get worse. But I'll leave you with that, man. I appreciate you taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Very good call. Right on it. Let's get to a few more here. 631 in the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. This is Ann from New York.
All right, I got some background. Hold on. I got some background noise in the background. Can you turn it down for me?
I gotta turn this off. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. It's your show. But anyway, I have a lot of things to say. First of all, comparing New York to California is such an insult. California has to crack off the United States and land somewhere like in Honduras or somewhere and stay there. They make zero sense to me whatsoever. I'm sick of this country. I really am. I really feel like moving out of the country. There's no other alternatives to do. The Democrats are doing treasonous acts constantly, and nobody ever does anything to them. Can you imagine if this was Donald Trump?
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Best president in the history?
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
I am angry every day over this crap. It's like my rent went up $100. The electric went up more than double the price. And I'm in a 55 and older community, okay? I can't even imagine what the gas is going to be. Because it's gas, for the stove and heat, and I don't know. But this whole thing, and does anybody care about the View on their views on the View? I think they're brought in to say, clap. The guy's holding up the sign, clap, clap, clap.
Yeah, I believe you're right about that.
I think that's crap. And I don't think Joe Biden's running this country. I think it's Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the disgusting Democrats in Congress are telling him what to do. Nancy Pelosi can't even speak right. But this whole thing has gotten me to the point where he wants us all to have electric cars, $50,000 Tesla cars. Who has $50,000? They already have us stretched out so far, I can't even imagine going and get a loan for $50,000 to have a car. Okay? That's not doable. And there's no place here to plug it in. Where are you plugging that thing in?
Right, exactly.
And if you drive 2 hours of miles, it runs out of electricity. So where do you plug that in?
It's a good question.
I'm losing my mind with this country because this country makes me so sick right now. How do they let all these people in, give them everything? I work in a Walgreens because I'm a registered nurse, and I refuse to take his shots. Refuse. Okay? I'm perfectly healthy. I never wore a mask, nothing. Never got a shot, never nothing. None of those, nothing. Because you get those booster shots the rest of your life. So, anyway, I'm working in a menial job, and all I get is illegal aliens coming in every day with thousands of dollars of cash. They have these government cards that have thousands of dollars in it. And it infuriates me because, who's paying that? I don't have the money to buy that thing that she's buying. You know?
Right.
Can you hear me?
I hear you well. Yes, I'm listening.
It's so frustrating at this point. I can't stand it. It's not normal for the United States. It's just not normal. And California should crack off the United States altogether, the whole California, and land somewhere like Honduras or some disgusting rat-infested place, including, all the Democrats in Congress. And I don't care if I get kicked off. I'm already kicked off YouTube. But this is the only way I can talk to you. But none of this makes sense. None of it. How long can they stretch a person that's 66 years old, living on Social Security? I had to go back to work at Walgreens because I'm not working as a nurse because I can't get the shots. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting the shots. So I'm there doing that to pay the rent, to do they keep raising everything and everything and everything and everything. The TV and everything. That's a car note. That's almost $300. That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Plus food. I don't understand what else to say about this, but if Republican conservatives don't start getting up off their ass, excuse my language, and doing something about them, they do to high treason. High treason. Joe Biden has done high treason. So has Nancy Pelosi and all those Muslims in there. Okay? The illegal aliens, they break every immigration law on the books.
Yeah, they do. They most certainly
It
do.
has to stop. When are we going to do something? Look at June 6th. What's that June 6th? What did they do that was so terrible? Tell me one. I mean, I think there was a lot of fake cops there because they had one little guy opening the door and letting them in. Oh, come on in, come on in, come on in. All right, so that's not a Congress police officer. They just gave him that uniform. I think that was, BLM or something doing that because I saw the whole video and the guy people that were protesting said, stop breaking the window.
That's right.
Stop breaking the window. Why are you doing that? It's clear. And now they're making Donald Trump like treasonous because he did this. Now, he did not do this. People in America are sick of it.
That's right. Right on. Well, I thank you for your
what
call.
What do we do from?
I don't know
Tell me, what do we?
We got to vote right. That's the main thing I would say. We got to vote right.
Oh, yeah, I'm voting on the 28th for Lee Zeldin for Congress of the governor of New York.
There we go.
But I mean, he's full Republican, hates everything. He says the same things I say. But I'm not trying to tie you up, but it is so frustrating to me. I live 66 years old, and I've never seen anything like this. Never. And they never got consequences.
Right. I hear you 100%. But thank you for your call. I got a few more on the line. I appreciate you for you calling in. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I'm sorry I hung up on her, but I love you right back. Thank you for the call. Oh, man. You guys in the comments are wild. The comment section, I got to stop. Like, over here, it was wearing me out. But, yeah, shout out to Honduras. All right, let's go. Excuse me, to the next call here. All right, let's try 501. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Are you serious? Is this really Brian? I'm going to kill my stereo right now. Did you just take my call, Brian?
You're live on the air.
Oh, man, you do not know how much we love you. All right, so I've been watching you for somewhere around 3 years now, and I have Geo Poli-Sci. And I'm proud to say I'm not a degree man. I'm proud to tell you right now I'm one of those that dropped out and ran the fuck away. Oh, I'm so sorry about the cussing. Oh, I will not do it again. I dropped out and ran away as fast as I could. Now, I'm going to let you know I can't hear you in my ear. So when you talk, I only hear you through my TV. But that forces me into my ramble mode. And I really don't want to do that because I have my own channel.
Okay, caller, listen. Can you hear me?
I heard you in my speaker, so I shut up for a moment.
Yeah, so if you're listening to me on the stream, it's going to be delayed, so you can't listen to that. You got to talk to me on the phone.
No, absolutely not. I have that all the way turned down, sir.
Okay.
I am a streamer as well. I'm nowhere near as awesome as you. So I do understand how that delay happens. And what I did was I killed out my entire room and my air conditioner so that I can hear you. But you need to find some way to pipe up the volume of your mic because you've abandoned a couple of calls, and I was one of them earlier today when you said, hello, can you hear me? And I said, well, yes, I can. And I could barely hear you, and then you hung up on me, and I called it, as my phone says, 72 times just to get back on tonight. Yeah, man, I'm just telling you right now, Brian, we love you to death, and everything you stand for is righteous. And okay, so two pieces before you kick me off of here, and maybe you'll want to talk to me after, and that is a true hope I have. But two pieces I want to tell you. One, I've only seen someone as educated as you stand on the Republican side without this hard malice to the Democrats that's deserved. Like, okay, so 100%, I feel like the Democrats need to be destroyed in warfare. We've had to destroy them in the Civil War. We had to destroy them in the Civil Rights War. And now we're having to face them now. And I'm one of these people who just believe in an outright annihilation of the left. And we need us as Republican men to stand together and fix all the things that's wrong with this constitutional government that we have. But my co-host, Richie Rich Richards, is sitting beside me. He likes to laugh at almost everything I say because I'm only slightly intellectual. I realize my stupidity comes at the front of my hand. When I read the notes that I stole from people, they're written in the palm of my hand. And as I stare at them, I realize I'm not really seeing the world around me. And I look at a lot of the things that these Democrats are saying about gun control, racism, and the right. And I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cuss again. I did not mean to do that. I just simply want to say that I don't understand how so many people can be baffled by the simple little palm in the face trick that the Democrats are doing. The world cannot be this stupid. They saw Jimmy Kimmel and Joe Biden, and they watched the palm in the face, easy question, fake answer, lie, and smooth over the dummy. But the good news is most of us don't bother wasting our time watching that late night TV. I didn't see it until I woke up this morning while I was working with my dynamite. I need to put this out in the front, I guess. I am former CIA. I am a dynamite demolition expert. And my podcast host is a geopolitical scientist who has the same degree as me and is much smarter than me because I guess I'm a simpleton. And he spent his life selling insurance and saving people from the real-life boogeyman. And he explained to me a long time ago when we became friends, he was like, the boogeyman is talked about so that we can sell things. I can't make you buy a protection from the shadow unless I make you scared of the light. You have to chase your life around looking that the light was behind you. And the shadow you cast forward when you're running into your own future is scary. And the bigger this shadow I can make, the bigger fear neb I can give you. The tornado will suck you up, and the hurricane will pull you down, and the earthquake will shake you apart, and fire will consume all, and the flood will wash you away. I have to sell this preacher speech, which is very real, and I have to sell it in a way that will make me and my company money. I have to sell it in a way that will protect you from these evil things once they show up. Now, the evil side to that is the Democratic Party who has latched on to this. And they want to fear you from the weapon. They want to fear you from the vote. They want to fear you from the idea of real freedom. Because with real freedom comes extreme risk of destruction and absolute annihilation. And the only way to ensure you from not being annihilated is to put a little bit of support into this left-handed bucket. And if I can get you to just give a few moments of your time into my left-handed bucket, I might save you from these crazy, racist, destructive people coming behind me who are never going to do anything but might. And I get to scoop all of you up in a collective warm bucket and make you say, oh, my God, didn't that white man save me so well?
There you go.
And that is my Democratic stance.
There it is, man. Thank you for your call.
I never want to be that man, but I want to let you know that they are standing there for you and against you 100% of the time. And there are
Caller,
none
caller,
of
can you
them
hear me?
going to
Caller,
hide their head.
thank you for the call, man. I have more calls
you
online.
You can call them out as much as
Okay, maybe you can't hear me. Hey, woo, boy. I mean, all righty, man. Hey, you guys, love y'all. You guys, the callers are magnificent tonight. Shout out to all the callers. Magnificent. All righty, let's go to some more here. Let's go. You guys give me 1 second here. Hold on. The phone lines are blowing up. Y'all, please just bear with me. All right, let's go. 831, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 831, hello. Okay, now Skype want to act up. The calls are so wild. Skype decided to just go ahead and act up. Okay, let's go ahead and restart Skype. All right, I need a quick break. I need a quick break. Hold on. Let's get Skype back on deck, and then we get back into the calls. You guys are something else. I tell you what. This show, I love it. It's my favorite part of the channel is the show. 100%. Okay. Let's go to 702. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing, ABL? This is David out in Vegas.
All righty. What's going on?
Not much, man. You got the happy hour show going on tonight.
I see.
Yeah, bro. I just have a quick question. Did you ever get to check up on that story about the Uvalde shooter and then the other guy from the New York one to see if they were actually talking to each other, and then the FBI guy and everything?
No, I didn't look up on that actually. I need to though. I kind of forgot about it. Huh?
I haven't had a chance, man. I've been wanting to do it. I haven't had a chance to get online myself. But yeah, that was one of the main things I wanted to ask you about. And yeah, just I got to tell you, man, if anybody listens to the show, they don't get the full effect because I'm over here cracking up looking at your expressions and everything with the calls, man. Tonight it's great, dude.
Yeah, it's been
but
fun.
Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. But no, man, I just wanted to give you a call. And the one lady that did say something, and here's one thing that she did say, the previous caller to this guy. These people have no consequences. They know they don't have any consequences. Just like Pelosi's husband right now with the DUI. This has already happened to the point where they know that there are no consequences because there really aren't. And you see it. You see it all the time. And it's like when people say, well, you know, it's a politician, so they lie to you, so it's a politician. Like, we've come to expect this, but the problem is we've come to kind of just look past it. And as long as we do that, it's our own fault, man. We're causing that because we don't hold them to the same standards as just regular people. You know, a regular person can't get away with all this, you know, and we've gotten to the point where we kind of just go, well, you know, it's a politician, it's expected. Why is it expected? Why is that expected? Why has that become the norm? And as long as we keep allowing that to happen, this is why we're where we at. I mean, at the end of the day, it is ultimately all of our faults. We've seen it happen. We've seen it develop, and we've kind of let it go by. We've been so busy doing our own thing. For the first time when Trump was in office, he brought attention, and people started watching it. It was a reality show. No one knew Pelosi's name. No one knew any of these people. Trump brought light to this, so now we're all still watching it like a reality show. But the problem is, it isn't a reality show, it's reality. This has consequences. So the question is, what do we do from this point forward? Because now we see what's happening, but if we still just watch it as a reality show and not, you know, actually get involved, this problem is gonna persist. So what is your take on that? What do you think is our next step to course correct at this point? Because everybody's like, oh, the next election when Trump runs, we're not going to have a country by the time Trump runs, if he decides to run. So what do we do? You know, what is your take on that?
I mean, all you really can do is vote correctly. You got local elections, national elections. One thing I would say, I don't have the panacea for all the world's problems. Obviously, I can't just sit here and say, hey, if you do this thing, you'll fix the world. That's not what I can do. But what I can say is that people need to just stop focusing on one person. Because Trump is just one guy, you know, and he may or may not run, but that's just one person. You have your local elections. Like, I know people around here locally, the sheriff, the mayor, the county mayor, the police commissioner. I know a lot of people that actually matter in your everyday life. That's going to be more important, in my opinion, to a certain extent than the federal. And even in the federal, you got to worry about who's there. You know, your senators, your governors, all that kind of stuff. It matters.
Right. I mean, I'll be honest with you, man. I thought about, you know, throwing my hat in the ring. I mean, I just worked as an entertainer out here in Vegas, man. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't have a great reputation. I mean, I'm pretty out there with a lot of my personal stuff. But nonetheless, just because I do certain things doesn't mean that I don't see that, you know, what reality is, what's right, what's wrong. You know, like a parent who smokes, he still tells his kid, hey, you shouldn't smoke. Even though the parent's sitting there smoking, he still tells the kid, look, this is bad for you. I know I'm doing it, but it's bad for you. So it's kind of the same thing, you know, like some of these people, you know, we have put them in this thing like they're special, but they're just people. So that's why I was thinking of throwing my hat in the ring here, you know, in Nevada for something. I don't know anything about politics. I'm not involved in politics in any way in that sense, you know. I don't even know if I want the responsibility. But I thought about it because at least, you know, even though I'm kind of crazy, kind of out there, I still have some common sense, and that's what's lacking in a lot of these people. They may look all professional, but look at AOC. She's clearly nuts.
Right. Yeah, you know? that's correct.
Crazy eyes is a real thing. I said it. I think in a couple of your videos when I posted it that you put on YouTube. I answered. I said, dude, crazy eyes is a real thing. People don't, you know, how did people get elected? Like Lori Lightfoot. I always wonder when I see somebody like that. I say, who's the one that lost? What did they look like? If this is the one who won, what did the one who lost look like? Oh my God. So, but anyways, man, I just wanted to tell you that I'm really enjoying the show tonight. You know, it's been fun, and your expressions are, man, spot on, dude. Especially the two little bottles that you collect. That was fun.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thanks, brother.
All right. Shout out to all the callers. You guys are fantastic. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box below the video, and the phone lines are jumping. So please give me a little bit of time. I'm going to try to get you on as soon as I'm able. But let's go to 972. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Mr. ABL. This is Unified TV.
Hey, what's going on, man? How's everything?
Well, not bad. It's coming together really well. No questions or comments, man. Just wanted to thank you for what you do. Like I told you before, you're my number one media inspiration. I've shaped and molded and changed the way I do my thing on my platform based on how you do yours. So I definitely want to thank you once again for being that inspiration, and I hope to meet you one day, man. But keep doing what you do. You're a legend.
Thank you for that, man. I appreciate you a lot. Means a whole lot to me.
Yes, sir. You have a good night.
Same to you, man. All right. Great call. Love calls like that. You know, get the positive affirmations. I love it. All right. Let's go to 201. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
He's ABL. This is Foster the Prankster from Jersey. What's good, bro?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
So I called you on Wednesday. We spoke about my experiences with discrimination in the New Jersey education system as it relates to social conditioning in places like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. You remember?
I remember you, but I don't remember that specifically.
Okay, so real quick, right? So I was a little, I was a little unfocused. So I wanted to call you back tonight more on point with my bullet points. And, you know, I'm not trying to use your platform as my own personal soapbox, but I think it's important to share these personal stories so that people know that they're not alone, and for other people to help them if they still feel like they can't speak out, to see the nature of this threat, right? Because isolation and demoralization are two of the greatest weapons of authoritarian regimes. And this is a war for our minds, bodies, and spirits. So I'm going to try to speak as quickly and clearly as possible to fill in some of the gaps, right? So real quick, everybody like the video, share the video, and hit that subscribe for my man ABL, right? So last fall, I told you I was hired at the high school, and they fired me for a legitimate medical mask exemption, right? So what I didn't get into was HR attempted to actually coerce me to sign over a complete release of my medical history for their district physician to review. Now, I never met this doctor and they had never treated me. So I'm like, why should your doctor have the authority to kind of review my medical health care? So I refused and they sent me home on the spot. In the end, I was denied unemployment for refusing to follow COVID policy, right? So in February of 2022, I told you I was working for a youth center. I was a recreation mentor, right? They denied my religious exemption to the jabs, and HR gave me 2 weeks notice before my termination as a quote unquote courtesy, right? Let me ask you this. Why would you let a person who's supposedly a threat to everybody's health, the unvaxxed guy, why would you let me be there for 2 more weeks? But I digress, right? So my students, I told them that I was, being let go. They were super disappointed, and all I could think about is like how this affects their mental health, because I'm working in a place where, they're a licensed therapist. They're supposed to care about their mental health, and you're getting rid of somebody that they're bonded because this person is choosing to exercise their own personal bodily autonomy. So what does that teach these kids? And, I'm like, at what point are you going to like deny service to kids who are unvaccinated if it's really all about people's health? So during my last few, I was basically depersoned by my coworkers. People would barely speak to me. They wouldn't say good morning. And that Thursday of the first week after they served me my 2 weeks, they brought in HR and they served me with a false, borderline slanderous disciplinary action where they vaguely alleged that I had quote unquote inappropriate interactions with my students and refused to specify what exactly that meant. They claimed that I was neglectful, but I had run the rec center without any incident by myself after I had just got hired, because all my jab coworkers either got COVID after they boosters or they had an adverse reaction to the point where they had to call out. So they're
hold on, caller. Like you got to kind of condense your story a little bit.
Okay, I'm getting to the very end of it right now. So they're false allegations, getting denied unemployment again for inappropriate conduct, and now they're saying that they fired me for misconduct and not for refusing the jabs, right? And that's essentially extortion, bro. So this is the last point I'm going to make, and this is not about me, right? This is just some fun history trivia for all the ABL fans, right? And if you don't know this guy, look him up. He's from the Soviet Union. His name is Lysenko, Lysenko. And I believe Stalin handpicked this guy to lead the agriculture in the Soviet Union, right? This guy was basically like the Fauci of the Soviet Union. He had these, experimental new scientific theories that he claimed were going to result in more efficient crop production. The guy didn't believe in genetics, right? He was crazy. So what you think happened to the botanists and biologists who stood up and said the theories were crazy and it was going to destroy crop production, right? Straight to the gulag, big rock. Right? That's what caused the famines that killed tens of millions of people. Mao ended up following the same thing in China, and it had the same results, right? So the term Lysenkoism to mean a denial of scientific facts that are not politically convenient. Now ask yourself why that applies to the vax and the gender-bending agenda going on right now. But I'll leave that right there for now.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Very well done. That was good. He condensed it like I wanted him. That was good. Shout out to him. Okay. The phone lines are just jumping right now. So y'all got to bear with me, please. 304, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
ABL.
All righty. We got some noise in the background.
Okay, I got your stream on here. I was gonna say, is this the tri-state area Alcoholics Anonymous crisis hotline? But I've had a few beers myself. But no, it's your fellow West Virginian. I was just saying, hey, like I figured that might have been a little bit funny because it seems like someone else said it seems like happy hour for most of your callers. I just got home from work, but no, I was just saying hi. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. I haven't been following your stream. Like I said, I just got home. But, love your show, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, later.
All righty. And you guys are fantastic. Great audience tonight, as always. Thank you for all the calls. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far tonight, please give this video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Go ahead and do that for me. That'll help me out a whole lot. 205, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
It's Adam from Alabama.
All righty. What's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to call. You made a point about voting for local people and your state senators and all of that, that it's also very important to look and see how they vote. Like, only 11 senators went and stood up and voted against sending all the money to Ukraine. That's 11 out of 100.
And you know what? Hold on 1 second. I'm proud to say that my senators both voted against that. Marsha Blackburn and my man, I forget his name. Marsha Blackburn and wow, I met him many times before, but I forget his name. But you know what I'm talking about. 2 Tennessee senators.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget his name also. One of my senators, Tommy Tuberville, voted against it, but Richard Shelby didn't. And it's very important to look and see how your senators are voting, because a lot of people are voting in rhinos and they're not voting for stuff they were elected to do.
That's correct.
And that's really all I wanted to say to add on to the point. I'm not going to ramble on like some of the other guys, but thank you for accepting my call.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All righty.
So that's Bill Haggerty, Marsha Blackburn and Bill Haggerty. I've met Bill Haggerty many times. I've not actually met Marsha Blackburn, but I've met Bill Haggerty on several occasions. Right? I'm about to pull a picture with him. Matter of fact, I met him at a dinner. I met him at a fundraiser. I met him in different places. Let me see. Call you online speaker to 207.
Blackburn and Bill Haggerty.
Hello, 207.
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, sorry, brother. My YouTube must be lagging there. Caught me off guard. I turned my video down this time. This is Bernard from Maine. How you doing, brother?
Oh, it's all good, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Yeah, so I called. I don't know if you covered this. I've been working a lot. But there's a YouTube channel called The Asher Show. It's more of like a pop culture show. But he came out with a video the other day about the C-11 bill in Canada. Did you hear about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, neither did I. And I just saw it today. And like I said, he's a pop culture guy. And so basically there's a bill in Canada where they're suppressing YouTubers because the Canada is saying that their older media is not getting enough coverage, obviously propaganda. So Canadian YouTubers, are getting suppressed. People that are successful are not going to be successful because of that bill. So I just want to throw that by you. I appreciate you taking my call. I hope you have a great night.
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, bye.
So that was me and Bill Haggerty right there on the screen. So let me put it back up. I had to kind of get back to Skype, but I couldn't show you all the numbers and stuff. But yeah, that's me and him. This was, when was this? I think it was 2020, right when the pandemic happened. This might have been at the Lincoln Day dinner. I think it was in Chattanooga. I can't really remember. But matter of fact, it was. At this dinner, people caught the virus and somebody died. But I was just like this, shaking hands with everybody, taking pictures. I didn't catch the virus. I think this whole thing with the virus, obviously, it ain't what they say it is. It was a whole big thing in the media. Oh, it was super spreader event. They don't care about public safety. They trying to kill people, all this, that, and the third. I ain't wearing no mask. I was just doing my own thing. I ain't really care nothing about, and I didn't catch no bug or nothing like that. Very simple. So shout out to my man, Bill Haggerty. Shout out to Marsha Blackburn. Shout out to Bill Lee, our governor. Shout out to our local senator, a local House rep, Chuck Fleischman. All right. Oh, yeah, I had my suit. I was suited and booted for that. I had to put on the brand new the blue suit with the red polka dot tie. I had to. All right. I had to. When I was in the White House, I was wearing something similar to that. And they thought, people that were there at the Brexit event, they thought I was a senator or something. It's like, What are you in government? Like, what's going on? It was funny. Let's keep on moving here. The number to call 434-658-1220. And the lines are blowing up, so y'all please bear with me. Let's go to 831. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Okay, now Skype backing up. Skype doing it again. So what's happening sometimes when I answer the phone is when I answer the line, sometimes Skype will not pick up properly. Like, there's a timer on the call when it picks up. And when the timer doesn't start, I know that it's not picking up properly. So then I got to restart and go through this whole process again. You know, Skype is a great app, but it also sucks as well. So it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man for that. I didn't create Skype. The guy over there did. He did, not me. Okay, let's. RP headphone users, I thought that it was set properly, but it didn't. Let's go back. Okay. 416 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, it's Hyphen. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, well, about yourself?
Yeah, can't complain, mate. Can't complain.
Good.
So I was just calling you to reiterate what your last caller was talking about, Bill C-19.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. Are you speaking on speaker?
Yeah, hang on. Let's try that. Is that better?
Much better.
Yeah, so your last caller was talking about Bill C-19. He's absolutely 100% correct. So what Trudeau's trying to do now is change the internet in Canada, so effectively he controls everything that we see and hear on the internet.
I see. Now that right there, that'd be awful. It really would be, because this is what I was talking about earlier. We're like the last bastion of freedom for, like, we're the last bastion of free speech, the internet. If they're able to control that, then it's pretty much over.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, and it's coming to you guys shortly. I mean, you know, Trudeau's got his hands. He's got this control with the NDP, which is another, liberal mandate. So they've got complete control of the government, and this C-19 is going to be able to pass. So we have a TV system in Canada where effectively there's a government body that controls what you see on television. For example, to protect Canadian television, for example, they only allow, let's say, 40% international TV, which could be 20% or 25% American and 10% English, or 5% European or whatever, right? But the bottom line, the same as the music industry, of course. And so that particular body now, Trudeau under Bill C-19 wants to hand the information technology over to this particular government body, so that effectively they can take control of the internet as well. Because remember, most of your, I don't know if you know, but the same as the BBC in England, the same as CBC in Canada, they're paid for by taxpayers' money. So they're government entities, but they're actually paid for by taxpayers' money. And of course, same as CNN, for example, they've lost 90% of their viewership in the last, 2 years or a year, for example, once that deal with the airports closed down. And then, of course, they went to CNN Plus, which, just failed miserably after, they spent, $10 million? But of course, Trudeau in Canada has been paying the the media millions upon millions, $600 million, if I remember correctly, with regard to control the media. And so now he's trying to take control of the internet, so that effectively YouTube channels and Twitter will be effectively controlled by the government, so that people can't actually see or hear your side of the story, for example.
That's right. Exactly.
Right? You're going to be cut off, mate.
Yeah, we can't have that here. We cannot have that here. In Canada, they got a lot of. They have
you have the Constitution, and it works, or at least so far it works. But of course, that's what the Democrats are trying to do is destroy your Constitution, including your First Amendment rights, which is free speech on the internet, for example. Your Second Amendment rights, which are guns, for example, which they're both just jumping all over you guys right now over that stuff. But that's another point. But I mean, Trudeau's doing the same in Canada with guns. I told you last week, I can't remember, but he's trying to freeze the sale of handguns to legitimate gun owner or gun licensed gun people.
Right. It's terrible. It really is.
Right, and it's up here right now, and it's like so close to you guys.
Right. Yeah, but it can't come here. It's going to be a problem. But I thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, Brian. We'll talk to you later, mate. Thank you for the call.
All righty. Yeah, somebody asked earlier, why do people call me Brian? I don't know, but I get that a lot. I don't even really trip. It's one of my names, so it's not really a big deal. Maybe they like to say Brian better. Maybe that kind of flows off the tongue. Brian. It says ABL, so I guess they could just skip the A. It's whatever. When I was younger, everybody called me Logan. When I was a young man, I was just Logan because there was so many guys named Anthony. Like I worked at a restaurant, and it was a bunch of us, a bunch of black guys named Anthony. And at one point, it was all three of us in the dishwashing place because it'd be three guys washing dishes, one guy on the pot sink, one guy loading up the big machine, another guy offloading the big machine. We were all named Anthony. So if they holler back there for something, you all going to look. So they just started calling me by my last name, and that stuck. So as long as you say one of the names, it's fine. That's my point, but I digress. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, I'm glad you got to me. It's your retired Chicago police officer friend. I hope you can hear me okay.
I hear you well.
Good. Number one, you're right about the feds infiltrating these groups like Antifa and everything else. The government has to do that to find out what those guys are doing. The problem is that sometimes the government, in order to attract these people like a magnet to find out what's going on, they skirt the line of entrapment. That happened here in Chicago. Somebody infiltrated Antifa, and then these guys were locked up, and their lawyers said that it was entrapment, that it was the agent, the government agent, that was kind of encouraging all this behavior. And it mostly was bombing. They wanted to bomb a couple places. They didn't want to hurt anybody, but they wanted to bomb some empty places and things like that. So you were right about that. Number two on that point, that U-Haul truck is right on the money, ABL. This is the way Antifa and these groups get their people around the city to different spots so that they're all there with their backpacks and equipment at the same time. Here in Chicago, at the height of the Floyd riots, there was a traffic stop on a U-Haul truck. It was probably insider information was given, or information was given. Maybe they saw those guys in the back. The police did a traffic stop on a U-Haul truck, and there was something like 40 to 50 Antifa in the back of the panel truck, the U-Haul truck. That is the way that they go from spot to spot. So when they get out, they're already 50 strong. They're not waiting for this guy and that guy to come in their car and come on a bicycle and move around. They're moving in a pack like an army. And that's their normal modus operandi. That's exactly how they do it. So that's right on the money.
I see.
I wanted to say something about Joy Behar real quick, and then I'll get off the line. Joy Behar, obviously she's out of touch because she doesn't realize that there's millions of black citizens that are law-abiding, that are firearm owners. Their firearms are registered, and they've armed themselves, but they're in the background. Let alone all the criminals that are black, white, and other races, but she talked about black, let alone all the criminals that are doing black-on-black murders here in Chicago alone and across the nation. I mean, how does she answer that? Does she think that a bunch of white supremacists all went in a pack and killed some 400 or 500 young black teens in the city over the past few years in Chicago and other places? Or maybe the police killed them all? Because we're not busy fighting crime, we're busy killing everybody. So, you know, she's out of touch. And I would say to her, and then I'll let you go, I would say to her, you know, she says, oh, people will be crying for gun laws once the blacks get guns in their hands, which they already have them. Well, my point is people like her will be crying for protection once no one has guns except the criminal. Then she'll be asking for protection and let's do something about these criminals and everything else. So good luck to her. ABL, love your show. Thanks for everything, and keep doing what you're doing. Talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. That's exactly right. She'll be the one crying for protection. Just like the same people that talk about defunding the police, they cry for the police to protect them when it all falls apart. That's usually how that works. All right, let's go to. Hold on one second here. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Ashley from Arizona.
All righty, what's going on?
Hi, I'm a regular watcher of your show. I can't believe I got on the line. I just wanted to say a few things. So as a young woman in her early 20s, for me, it's shocking, but not surprising, honestly, to see this transgender movement coming in our country. And to me, you know, I just feel that it's the powers that be misleading the youth, taking advantage of the mental illness and depression that's coming from social media. It's disappointing. And I feel that, you know, this is all contributing to the bigger conversation of, you know, sorry, I'm losing a bit of my thought. But it's great to be on the line with you. Do engage with me. I would appreciate it.
Well, so the whole thing about the transgender movement, they're taking advantage of social media. I think that's correct because a lot of these kids, because a lot of times they're children. That's the whole point of the drag queen story time and stuff like that. That's the whole purpose, is to groom the children. These kids are on social media. They're kind of lost. They're easily malleable. And they're just all the things are just being put into their heads. They're being put into their heads and then take advantage of it when they get to be adults. They take advantage. They kind of, it's like they plant seeds. And then when they're able to harvest, they harvest. That's kind of how they do. This is what's happening right now with Dwayne Wade's son, who I think is like 14 years old, something like that. He came out when he was 12 talking about he's trans. Now they have Magic Johnson's son, who is like in his 30s, hanging out with him and taking him to certain places. That's part of the grooming process. You there?
Yes. Sorry about that. No, I completely agree. For me, even, you know, it's people in my life around me to where, you know, I've seen their struggles with mental illness, things they've grown up in. And I feel that the social media is just completely influencing their decisions. But it's beyond that, you know, it's the fact that it's getting into our legislative powers, the fact that politicians are now, you know, gaining this following behind this very vulnerable group. And I find something about that deeply wrong. And as many other callers in the line have mentioned, you know, I read about, you know, Mao's China and his Little Red Army. Well, you know, there were established groups, you know, in the Little Red Army, there was an official government organization for them of children. Well, other kids, they didn't make it in because either they were, you know, they were part of, you know, the wrong class. Yeah, their fathers might have been, you know, landowners, business owners, etc. They didn't fit into that group that they were trying to rope in. They created their own organizations. They created their own little groups. And that's what I see happening on social media with these transgender movements, this LGBTQ movement. And I feel that that's why they're trying to fit this element into the larger part of the political conversation. That's why now on the pride flag, you're seeing, you know, the shades of black and brown. And for me, as a person of, I guess you could say, of color, I find that really offensive and degrading. And to me, I just see it as we're all pawns in this game.
100% correct. That's all that it is. They want to put all these quote unquote other groups into the larger LGBT group to make that group become stronger, more influential, and ultimately better at being able to groom children, which is the end game, unfortunately.
Yes, it's disgusting and it's disheartening. And for someone as young as me to see this going on, you know, it's like, how do I plan my life, you know, from here 10 years in the future? You know, where's the country I live in going to go? It's disappointing.
I hear you.
Well, anyways, thank you for having me on the line. I hope you get a few less rambly callers, and I hope you have a good one.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Yes, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, this whole thing with the LGBT is, and I saw it. I kind of saw it coming because first it was gay marriage. Oh, ABL shouldn't be against gay marriage. Let them get married. Let them have all things. All right. But I knew there would be a consistent, it wouldn't just stop there. I said this on this channel years ago, right when they passed it, I said it. And now you see how far we've not progressed, but regressed in that period of time. Ever since I said that, here we are. Back then, you didn't see no drag queen story time. You didn't see little kids in drag clubs dancing around, getting money put on them at 10 years old. You didn't see that, but now you do. And if you say something against it, that means you're a bigot. That means you're a racist. It's crazy. 831, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello, ABL. This is Shelly.
All righty. What's going on?
Hey, I just want to say how much I appreciate you. I discovered you in probably towards the end of 2020. I discovered your channel, and I appreciate all the hard work and research you do for your shows. This is a compliment because I loved Mr. Rogers growing up. That you remind me of Mr. Rogers. But only your thing is okay, boys and girls, this is how you decipher between truth and lies. You know, that's how I feel when I'm watching you. Like you're very informative. You're giving us the right information, and you're enlightening a lot of people. So, and I really appreciate that you bumped up Megan. You know, you helped her out with the technology, and I really appreciate it because I love Megan McLover.
Yes.
I love her. And I know you helped her a lot get her stuff together, and she's giving you props. And I was like, that's right. ABL's the man. He's the man. So I really love that. You know, you're lifting up the women, you know, and helping them, and the conservative women, and any woman, really. I mean, you don't strike me as a person that would deny someone just because of their ignorance. You know,
that's right.
You would try to help them, right? So I really appreciate you, man, and that's why I called 20 times. And this is a person from California. We're not all elitist demigods, but it sure does look that way when you're looking at all the stupid things that Gavin Newsom is doing. Like he got on some kind of thing today with I think it was Twitter. He got on there with Trudeau, and they were all buddying around together in California today. And Trudeau came on his government, you know, funded jet, you know, with all the carbon footprints that makes. And he got on Twitter and started lecturing us with Gavin about his green, you know, bull honky. I won't say that. Well, I won't curse. I respect you too much for that. And I just really appreciate you, man. I want you to know that when it says ABL's going live, I'm right there, man. I'm right on top of that because I want to hear what you have to say about whatever's going on. But do you think that they really have a chance of taking our guns away?
No, it's too many guns out there in the hands of private citizens. It's just too much. It's in the Constitution. It's too many guns. That's not gonna happen.
Okay. All right. I just needed to hear you say that because if you say that, I have hope, you know. But man, they really are. These communists are really squeezing us, man. They're coming in hard from all sides. And I mean, they were able to shut down churches. Even priests and pastors were shutting down their churches, man. But there were a few. There was one in Oregon that got fined every day for staying open. There's one here in California that stayed open every day. They got fined. I don't think they actually ended up having to pay because they got lawyers and, you know, sued them back.
Right.
And constitutional lawyers, you know, that knows the Constitution and how to fight for your. So have you been hearing about the People's Convoy and everything that happened with that?
No, I haven't.
Well, that was a bunch of truckers, similar to what happened in Ottawa.
Okay.
But, in Ottawa, it went down, man. The truckers were big time in a large number. But out here, it started in California, and they started out with a large number, and that started in like February, March this year. And then they went all the way to Washington, and they got a place, to park in Hagenford, I think. But they decided to go back to California because of the bills that they were trying to pass here about abortion, and the not only till 9 months, but 7 days after the birth of the child, it wouldn't be deemed murder if the mother decided to let her child die.
Oh, okay.
Up to 7 days.
Wow.
So they went back to protest that, and of course Antifa came out, especially in Oakland. They came out, and in Sacramento. And anyway, so they ended up breaking down, that group, but now their group's called 1776 Restoration Movement.
Okay.
And they're at Bunker Hill over in Washington.
I had no idea.
But they're not getting much coverage. Yeah, they're not getting any coverage from mainstream. They've got a couple live streamers that are kind of a little burnt out now. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Oreo Express and WYSIWYG are two of the main live streamers that have been there since the start, and they're still out there at Bunker Hill. But
alrighty,
ABL, I have nothing but respect for you, man, and thank you for helping Megan. She's totally awesome. I love her to death, and I don't know. I'm really glad I got to say those things to you, because I have nothing but respect for you, man.
Well, thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
You too. Bye.
All righty. Great call. Let's go to call you online speaker to 971. Hello, 971. Going once,
Hello?
going twice. Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. How's it going, ABL?
Everything's all right. How about yourself?
It's going good. Just wanted to call and just try to get some information out there. And I know it's not going to be a popular opinion because everything's just becoming so polarized, but I wanted to let conservatives know about DeSantis and stuff, because there's been a few things that have been worrying me about him, the Florida Senate Bill 2006 on line 1107. It says, if the individual possesses a danger to the public health, the state health officer may subject the individual to isolation or quarantine. If there is no practical method to isolate or quarantine the individual, the state health officer may use any means necessary to vaccinate or treat the individual. Any order or the state health officer given to executive to effect, can't really read that. I don't know what that word is. But immediately enforceable by a law enforcement officer under S381.0012. And another thing about the red flag in Florida, there's been a ramp up of calls and arrests because of what happened in Ovid in Texas in the school. So I'm kind of concerned if maybe DeSantis is not just another rhino, because I don't think he's going to give up red flag laws, and I don't think he's going to give up, or he's going to allow a constitutional carry state to happen in his state. And
isn't that already in Florida? Can't you carry constitutionally in Florida, or no?
No, you can't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know
and
too
the
much
red flag
about.
laws are still active. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that first bill. It sounds kind of lawyery, so I don't know too much about that. But I think the people of Florida, they love him. People, it's to the point where I say he should become the president. People are like, man, we need him in Florida. So I don't really know. I think that nobody's going to be 100% perfect, but it's always good to look into whoever you are thinking about, if they're going to be the governor continuously or if they're going to be the president. Look into them and see what they're about, and then ask them about it, press them about it. I think that'd be good for him, because he goes on podcasts and stuff. He goes on all platforms. He's not trying to hide like Biden. So if there's ever any kind of concern about a bill that he supports or a particular ideology that he supports, people should ask him.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely been going on. I mean, I've been trying to do that too, but haven't really had any like way to talk to people about this. Thanks to you, I can at least get that information out, just to allow people, like, don't get into that tribalist trap to basically just say, like, oh, DeSantis is the man. He's going to help me. He's going to solve all my problems, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like up to us to do that, like do more research into these people. I know Tim Pool actually gave a story out about this liberal that was, she was running for some kind of office, and she said she was a Republican, but nobody actually looked to see what her policies were or anything like that. And she had actually just come out clean and honest on her website that she's like a very far left person, and that she just put the off Republican on that ballot just to, I guess, test it. She didn't accept the office, but it was kind of like a wake up call for like people to, hey, like, you can't just listen to people just because of what they say, because at the end of the day, there might be some kind of bottom line that they're trying to push. They're not telling you, just like in that bill I just said, it might be something. I don't know. Like, I don't know about forcing somebody to take a vaccine, but like a cop holding you down and
right. I got you.
Vaccinating you and stuff. Yeah.
But
yeah, that's everything. Sorry.
That's all good, man. Thank you for the call. I appreciate
really
you.
Weird beat on it. Yeah.
It's all good. All right. Shout out to the caller. But that'll be a wrap for the calls. We're right at 11 p.m. and I got to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys have been the best audience anywhere on the internet, so I could not do this without you. Thank you for being here. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, of course. I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. So I will see y'all live then. But, of course, I put on my pre-recorded videos whenever I can. If I have topics, I put out a pre-recorded video. If I don't, I'm not going to force it. I ain't going to just put out any kind of, content. It's going to be some good content for y'all. So thank y'all again for being here. We got super chats on deck, and then I'll go ahead and wrap it up, put the bow on the top. And shout out to the moderators keeping the chat and the trolls in check. I thank y'all for your service. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says World Economic Federation, if I'm not mistaken, Foundation Federation, plans to make food and gas so high people start losing their houses. 25 food processing plants destroyed. Thank you to Georgia Peach, who says, shout out to the liberals in my family. This show's for you. Get educated above third grade. There you go. Thank you to Vivian Fire for the cup of joy emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Bob K MIT, who says, ABL, I would have called in, but I promised not to call while drinking, but the others were funny as H. Thank you to Dieter Drew, who says, or Dieter, who says, nobody died of the flu, ? Yeah, the flu took a year off. Remember? That's what they said. Oh, the flu took a mysterious year off. Oh, okay. Is that we gonna go with that? All right, let's just run with it. Thank you to Dieter Drew. Andrew, who says, support Lily Tane Williams of New Hampshire. Thank you to Fana Faye for a few supers here. Fana Faye says, ABO, we need another fun video like Questions on the Street. By the way, what is that star on the Juneteenth flag? There's a Juneteenth flag? I had no idea. You got the red, black, and green American flag, but I don't know nothing about no Juneteenth flag. That's something they just made up today. That's new. Fana Faye also says they want to up the age for gun ownership to 21, but you could become a transformer at just about any age and ruin your hormones and possibly genetics. Boom. Puberty blockers, hormone blockers at 8 years old, but you gotta wait till you're 21 to buy a long rifle. It's ridiculous. Fana Faye also says, never forget, 2 years ago around this time was the biggest riot in American history, and people still voted for the side of the chaos. Thank you to Fana Faye, who says, Corey Bush says Buffalo's shooter was inspired by Tucker Carlson despite the fact that he hated Fox News and conservatives. Of course they're going to say stuff like that because they just say anything and put it out there and they don't really retract it. That's just what they do. Fana Faye also says, so glad I didn't get the vax. Don't want to end up like Justin Bieber or get heart problems. There you go. Mentalist wife says the red flag law will become like the Salem witch trials. Yeah, we can't have that going on in this country, but thank y'all for being here yet again. Again, I'll be back live again on Wednesday and Saturday from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'm here pretty much every day with pre-recorded videos, Monday through Saturday, but tomorrow I'm off, OFF. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.